have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of Hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of Hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. We would tell you that this ain't your mom's radio station, but Clayton's mom listens every week. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour. You found Q Talk America, home of The Show with Clayton McKee, Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. We will be starting tonight's broadcast at the top of the hour. By the way, we're a 3-hour show, so grab a beverage and get comfortable. If you have a topic you'd like us to talk about or a question for the cast, please post it in the chat room or on our Facebook page. Simply look for The Show with Clayton McKee on Facebook. We'll be starting the show in just a few minutes. We're just getting prepared, mixing cocktails and settling in for 3 hours of chat and some non-PC fun. From wherever you're listening or watching our show, let us know where in the world you are by posting in the chat room or hit us up on Facebook. Just look up The Show with Clayton McKee. At the beginning of hour 2 is when Al gives us our drinking word for the night. Grab a beverage and drink along with the cast as they get rolling. You found Q Talk America. Tonight's live broadcast will start at the top of the hour.
Wherever you go, you can listen to the news. You can swing with the blues on this wonderful, wonderful station. Just take a lively companion wherever you go. Take a portable radio. Take a portable radio.
Now, here comes the music.
Oh, we're on the air before 10 after the hour. I think that's a bell-ringing applause.
Yeah.
Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. The last show of the year, and we got on the air.
You're welcome, people.
Look at you.
Yeah.
You got here before Marnie.
That's my only goal. Yeah, that's the goal every week.
Realistic, achievable.
It's a goal
goals.
to have.
Get here before Marnie.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to it. It is the 18th of December, 2018, show 371, our final show of 2018.
Good riddance.
Yeah, 2018's been a hell of a day at sea, sir.
Give it the heave-ho. We're ready.
Absolutely. Well, we've got as soon as Marnie gets here, we've got a full studio tonight. Give me just a second here. I don't have a camera for you, Mike, but you can lean into my shot or Al's shot. Oh, there you are. There you go. We've got my cousin Mike.
He doesn't want you to sit that
And
close.
we have a head.
My cousin Mike from Missouri is here, who flew in for his job. He's here overnight. He leaves in the morning. And then Marissa is here, which is Al's niece. She's here, which I'm going to fix a camera shot here and get us all, most of us all in the shot. And then, yay, here we go. So we're live. Hi, Marissa. Hi. There you go. Hi, Michael. You're right.
Hello.
See, it's all working. We got... If I save enough shit and I have a closet, I can put together a radio show.
Yeah, we do not want to encourage your hoarding. That is not how this is supposed to go.
That's how it all
Better
works.
See how
save that.
well
We
it
might
works?
need that.
Yes, it all works well. My gosh. Well, Marnie is on her way. She says she is, allegedly. That's how this always works, though, with her. But
Yeah, we're going to need 2 sources on that fact. Can't run without 2 sources.
no.
Yeah, I did not bet that myself. I'm sorry.
So if I do this little bit of
Need to vet our
magic,
journalism a little better.
I think if I do this little bit of magic, and I do, where did it go?
I always love to find out what color my clothes are going to look when I get here.
Kinda
Since everything
purpley
looks
today.
purple. Everything, I don't know what it is about this chair. Everything was purple.
So
when
if I
went.
do this and I change it, boom.
There's
Oh, there
Marissa's
she
got
is.
her private shot
God.
right there. Look at that. Well,
Don't be upset.
The glamour shot.
7 people around the world are watching us.
Thank
You'll
you.
never meet
and
any
we
of
spread
them.
them thinly in a nice layer around the globe.
You'll never meet any of them. You're fine.
so
I
Now-
was ready to
Unless
sign
you do, yeah.
autographs.
now don't be confused. For those of you watching, immediately, this guy that I'm pointing to, that's not Al's bald head next to me. That is my cousin Michael. Al's bald head is...
Right, but if
Still where it should
but
be.
if I put my glasses on, it really
Yeah,
does
can you
look
tell?
like
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
we're getting coverage from the other side.
Other side of it, yes.
It's all
My
sme and mirrors here.
Yeah,
in South
exactly.
America.
TV is put
I've got
together.
a stunt double now. Wait till the things they're gonna do to you.
Not sure if I'm comfortable with that at all.
Bring out the cannons.
I was reminded when I hooked up the wireless mic for Mike here. I was reminded, but we need to green screen my dining room so that you guys can go do a live
we do
report
need to come live
Yeah,
on
he was telling me
location.
about that.
from somewhere
That would be-
else.
That would be
our
perfect.
one time doing a live, what was it called?
Well, then Tucson or in Flagstaff when we went,
Yeah,
that was a live abortion, is what that
Yeah.
was. There were coat hangers everywhere on
Oh.
that.
That was awful.
It was awful. But
So you're ready to do it again, right?
Yeah, sure. Because I figure if they fuck it up once, why not do it a couple more
why
times?
not?
Maybe you'll like it more.
Oh, heavens. Well, as we do each
Well, hi.
week, each week, what have you been doing? What's you up to? Kat Carson, we'll start with you and we'll go around the horn here.
I've been drinking.
Yeah. Oh.
That a girl.
Like you do.
I feel like your drinking game's been a little on the little lacking
It's been a
lately.
little on the
No,
low lately.
if I may just step on you here for just a second, the Kat Carlson Memorial Bar has an official
VIP
new home.
lounge
The
exclusively
VIP
at
lounge. I'm
Cobalt's.
sorry. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful thing. We saw her. Mom and I went to Cobalt on, was it Saturday? Sunday? What day was it?
Saturday.
Saturday for Fernando's graduation party
Oh,
thing, was great. and
Congratulations.
That's
Yeah.
where we stumbled upon
That's
the.
why you was all dressed up.
Why?
Because you went to a graduation party.
It was just the same outfit with the jacket on. That's all.
Well,
it
that's
is.
the dressy, Clayton.
Okay, all right.
That
I
shirt
know
with a jacket.
formal Barbie when I run into her.
She's wearing a jacket. She looks very smart.
Yeah.
It's just. It's all I add is the jacket. Everybody's like, "Ooh, where have you been?"
Yeah.
Nowhere.
Tits up. You're good.
There you go. There's that. Anywho, yes. So carry on, sir. I'm gonna find a picture of your bar.
Well, sure. I launched the maiden voyage of the Kat Carlson Memorial VIP Lounge exclusively at Cobalt.
The memorial
Trademarked.
is silent.
The memorial is silent.
It
Don't
is.
ask. It's a long story that we
Yeah,
don't
it's
need
a
to
long
tell
story.
again. It's an awful story. Makes no damn sense.
But
But
did
where-
you
so
die?
where- yeah, but where in the bar?
so it's on the patio.
Oh, very nice. Oh,
Yeah.
very nice.
It's where we used to keep trash cans.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
And by
glamour-
bike or different-
glamorous locations. The glamour never stops
Sights
in my
and
world.
fragrances. How
Yeah.
exciting.
I know. Well, we hosted off a little bit, so it was nice.
We hosed it off.
Yeah.
Well, hey,
But
whatever.
no, it's a fine addition, and I've decided in my, habit and fashion to just name it after myself. And
Atta girl.
I'm gonna take a banner on Friday, and I'm gonna open it with the banners from Pride, and I'm not kidding.
I
no.
need you to have a
Yeah.
big pair of scissors.
Yeah.
I
Oh
need
my
you-
gosh, I need to do a ribbon cutting.
You absolutely
yeah.
do. I feel it would.
Like the huge oversized.
Yeah.
scissors.
Here's the bar.
I can't
There's-
even
there's-
stand it. Yes,
there we
we're
go.
doing
Look
at
ribbon
that.
cutting.
For those of you viewing, here's the outside
I mean, look at all
bar.
that room for a ribbon.
Right.
Yeah.
I see a big white area on the wall that's just begging for a logo.
That's where
It is lacking
I
in
know.
signage. I don't
and
know
I
how
keep
to tell
meaning
you.
to try and order one of those Gobo things, and I just haven't got around to it
Yeah.
yet.
Well, you've been
Let me
busy.
tell you, if it looks like my house, blank white walls, other people won't enjoy it as much.
It's new Cobalt. It's blank white walls.
Yeah,
That is true.
Or blank gray
sanitarium
walls.
white. Yeah.
We got white and we got gray.
Pick your color.
Luckily, the people that did whatever they did to my house before I bought it painted the walls, because it would never be done. Because I just think paint everything
Paint it
white.
white.
Yeah, paint everything white. Just paint over it.
Okay.
Make it look like the sanitarium I was recently released from.
It's a cold sanitarium. That
I
you're-
feel at home.
Yeah, I do.
Madness. So we did that on Saturday, and then just yesterday, some friends of mine decided that it's Monday, we should go drink, which was unfortunate timing because it turns out every bar in the world is having their employee Christmas party yesterday.
Ah, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So we, not once, not twice, but 3 times, said, oh, well, let's go here. Walk up to the door, sign on the door. No, so please excuse us. We're closed tonight. So, yeah, went bar hopping with a little less drinking, but we finally managed to find some booze and had a wonderful time there.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's another reason that I'm just happy when we get to January, when all regular hours resume. Every store, every place is just
Yeah.
back to normal.
Yep.
That's this time of the year is always a shit show for some stuff.
Well, especially if you want to drink on a Monday, because that's the night that you close.
Right, yeah. Which
you
is my traditional night for drinking.
I think BS West Halloween, BS West holiday party was last night at
holiday
Stacy's.
shit show was, well, it was all over town. They went and bar crawled.
Oh, I see. Because they were slotted for 10 to midnight at the Stacy's. I saw today. I wasn't there.
Oh,
but
the year that we did the
Yeah.
bus there, that was a good time.
They hit the Cobalt at like 9.
We had I think we did that 2 years in a row, but I think after the shock therapy, I don't remember one of them. After a couple things that happened in the sanitarium before my
that's all.
stunt double was hired.
But see now, if you don't ever show up, I can fly in and sit there,
Yeah,
put on a hoodie,
Yeah.
and
there you go.
Play
It
the
certainly
part.
wouldn't have been the vodka
no.
that caused the blanks in your memory.
No,
Couldn't have
no,
been that.
no, we will not. We will not blame vodka.
Oh, vodka's innocent in all of these things.
Exactly.
You bet. So how's the shirt thing? I see you've got I see sizes written on your legal pad over here. So you
Oh, it's true. I'm
Whoa.
desperately scrambling to get things done by the end of the week because I'm headed for Christmas next week.
Right. So you got some backed up food,
I got all
shirt
kind-
orders.
all
You got
kinds of crap to do. I have
Gosh.
fucking bar owners texted me today going, "Hey, can I get these for my employees for Christmas?" I said, "Bitch, do you know when Christmas is?"
I believe it's next Tuesday.
I just found out it was next Tuesday.
Oh.
So I'm going to be doing Christmas cards Wednesday night if you need me for
Do
anything.
you not own a calendar? Because it comes around every year on the 25th.
I think
They're
I just stopped
complicated.
looking around December 1st because I can't.
Why bother?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't
everybody works on Amazon schedule.
Oh my God.
Listen to that. It's going. I'm leaving.
What the hell that?
What happened?
I don't know. It's fun.
I think I'm going now. Oh,
Oh my gosh.
Your stunt double's a robot.
I'm breaking up.
Oh,
Yeah, just start pushing buttons.
that's what
Oh, your
happens.
stunt double
What's that?
is an android.
It works for everything. Just hit buttons.
Turn
Oh.
it off, turn it back on.
I don't know.
Is
That's
it there?
Yeah, we just rebooted or something. Who
Okay,
knows?
good.
It's fine.
Is
Me
the
too.
power on? I love that question.
Is
No,
the
I'm sitting with the
power on?
fucking power off, asshole. Whenever I call,
Mm-hmm.
I'm stupid, but I'm not that stupid. Except for the time that the power was off.
One time.
One time.
One time. My. Well, all right. We're all caught up with Kat Carlson. Marissa, welcome to the show. Look at you.
Oh
Glamorous
my.
woman, assistant to the stars.
I wouldn't go that far.
Tell the world
Wow.
what you do. What is your occupation aside being Al's niece?
Also, feel free to lie if you don't actually want people to know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, whatever works for you.
No, it's
guys.
very glamorous.
Yeah.
So I am a makeup artist for film and television in New York.
Okay.
That is my profession. Lucky me.
That sounds fun. Sure.
Wow, that doesn't sound
She's very
The
enthusiastic about it.
endorsement
No,
there is
it's-
ringing.
It actually is like one of the best times of anybody's life.
Your favorite job thus far in your career? What's been your
Oh,
favorite job that
God.
you've worked on, or
My favorite job.
or person? If you want to limit it to a person.
See, everybody is so fun in their own way.
Okay.
I would say, oh God, I don't even have a favorite job. I would have to say my favorite job was my first full-length feature ever in Syracuse.
Okay.
I hated it at the time, but it was such a great learning experience. Now that I'm looking back on it, years later, I did it for free. I was away from home in Syracuse for a whole month, on very little sleep. And yeah, it was absolutely awful. And I loved every minute of it. And
I have so many stories just like that.
Can you share what
It was
the
terrible.
feature length film was? Was it a film?
yeah, it was
Okay.
a film. Yeah, it was
Okay.
a full-length feature film. It was called Irrefutable Proof. It's out on Amazon Prime.
I'm pretty sure Al talked about this when you
Yeah,
were
because
doing
it's
it.
the one that I thought was a
he
horror
thought
movie.
It was a horror film.
And it's about a priest questioning his
Oh.
calling.
Yeah,
His
exactly.
priestliness.
Yes.
I think that's what
I
they
see.
call it.
Priestly.
Yeah,
His
yeah.
priestly.
It actually
his Jason
I don't,
priestly.
I don't speak Pope, so I don't know.
Priest worthiness.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
A quick inventory.
Done
I
and
know.
done.
Okay.
I'm here for vacation.
I-
No, I took a week off from the film I'm on currently.
Yeah.
Took a vacation, saw my best friend and her new baby,
Mm-hmm.
and her husband that got hit by a car. Unfortunately, he's fine.
I didn't do it.
Unrelated incidents, or did it all happen at the same time?
Unrelated. Unrelated.
I mean-
thank God.
I want you to feel as bad as I do.
Right.
And she hit him with a car.
That's
Exactly.
Yeah.
She needed him.
the
to
story
feel
tells
But
itself.
it doesn't look so bad because she put makeup on it to cover it.
Oh, that's good.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's why.
Are those
actually
real
why I'm
injuries, or
here.
did Marissa make you
That's
look
right.
like this?
Exactly. Did
Kind
I
of both.
Just really mess you up.
Were the people that you came to visit and or see, were those the people that I saw you and Al with on Saturday night at the
No,
Stacy's?
those drunkards
That
were
is-
my
yeah.
Those are your
Those
people.
Yeah. Those
Okay.
were his lovely coworkers.
Because I ran into you guys at Stacy's.
Yeah.
I was distracted by other things and other things going on, and then Al got there, and then I got distracted with you guys for a few minutes. But Al was distracted mainly by vodka.
Yeah,
According to the
fully.
post that I saw on Sunday,
I'm
referencing
sorry, we've already been scolded for maligning vodka in this podcast. I want it to be very clear. Our lawyers want it to be very clear that vodka was innocent.
Rushes on the
in all of
phone.
this.
Yeah.
Vodka was innocent.
yeah. But I think you had Mercy. You had a good time on the Saturday night out there with us.
His status could definitely apply to me as well.
Oh, I see. I
Absolutely.
noticed there wasn't a margarita party that you had alleged the previous day.
Oh, I was
Oh.
super ambitious on Saturday, and
Yeah.
on Sunday we did not get off the couches.
10 hours of Mrs. Maisel,
Okay.
and that was it.
All right.
Those 10 hours well spent.
That-
Oh,
I
it
agree.
really
We
was.
watched the
I approve.
entire season,
Okay.
died a little in the morning, but recovered well for
I don't
Mrs.
recall the
Maisel.
first time I met you. I don't recall you being this funny, but now I'm right on board with you.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you see who my uncle is.
Well, you spent a week with him. Good God,
No, she's fun.
good times.
No, thanks.
Well, so you've recovered though, and that's
Here
good.
I am.
And that's what a vacation
Living to tell the tale.
Here I am. And that's what a vacation's for.
It is.
Yeah, you have a little
It
dip because you
is.
overachieved,
Uh-huh.
and now you fly home tomorrow, right? Back
I
to Syracuse.
do. Right back to New
Ooh.
York to go back onto my film.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
It's good that when you go home to have a job. I figure that that's a nice thing to have.
it is. It's the last 2 days of a film that I've been working on since the end of what's this month?
This
Since
is December.
This is it.
Yeah.
The whole family's confused by
I don't
calendars.
remember.
Don't ask.
I know. It's not a strong.
genetic
suit of ours.
deficiency.
It is.
That's what everybody gets them for Christmas, just in the hope that
You
it
maybe,
will work
maybe
out.
this year they'll use them.
This will be the year.
Absolutely. Everybody gets a calendar. Nobody opens them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just kidding. No one gets calendars.
Just look at the pictures on the back. Oh, seen them all.
Yeah, exactly.
I just look at the firemen. What's on? What's?
Oh, that's a different calendar. I see.
There's no dates in it.
No, I don't know.
Wait, this is a month?
Yeah, and then I wrap up. I finish that film Thursday, Friday, fly home Saturday to celebrate with the family.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm so excited. It's my nephew's first Christmas.
Oh, yes.
Little Owen, yep.
Little Owen, because you've shared
Totes and
pictures of him?
Jorbs. Mhm.
Yes. Well, all right. Well, that's
And now
cool.
we found out he looks exactly like his grandfather.
Just like my dad.
Okay.
Oh,
They
it's-
are twins. When I see like side to side pictures of them in the morning, they have the same hair, like bedhead. It is great.
Oh,
Got
like
it.
current day looks just like grandpa. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
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 Not like we compared baby pictures and we're definitely related. No, like right now, this little baby looks like an old man is my favorite thing in the world.
Yeah. Little baby with grumpy old man face. Yeah. It's a terrific
my
time.
favorite. It's what a time to be alive.
Well, we'll just add to your week by going to Al and finding out what Al has done aside from recover from a hangover.
Yeah. And it was a monster effort. I got to tell you,
Yeah.
we went both feet in. Like we did not hold back.
You did. I lost count on Saturday night of how many times you told me that you loved me.
Oh, about 1,000. I was very excited. But everyone was so excited to have you meet all of my.
I love you. You
No,
know
we're
I
not.
mean that. I love you. I know. Al, did you get a ring? I do, and I love you. I love you. You're my favorite. Oh, and I was the reason you're alive. You told everybody that.
Oh yeah, because I tell them all at work that you're my primary caregiver. There would just be a rotting husk in the corner of my very cold house.
And you-
I gotta
son-
stop by the house and water Al. I'll be there in a minute.
Just slingshot food
and no
at
one
me.
ever suspects that it wouldn't be true. Like we all go,
Yeah.
Oh, that seems legit.
seems true.
Yeah.
Can't
seems
work
that-
a calendar. Who knows? That one time couldn't figure out to turn the power on.
We're on a schedule.
Yeah.
Al. Come on.
And it was a lot of fun. My evil plan to like keep the party to my favorite people from work. Hopefully, no one that didn't go from the work isn't there. But it really went extra super. All my favorite people. Like we really thinned that crowd down.
Well, when I ran into you, you were just with two of the taller guys that I recall,
Yeah.
but I don't. And the one was the tallest guy. I was like, well, who's that? I don't remember who he was. What his name was.
So Chris did make it to the second bar? I didn't think he did.
There were two guys.
I don't think Chris did.
No, there was Patrick and Eric.
Oh, okay. And you helped Eric getting. Eric was Patrick's the tall one with the beard.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking
Yeah.
about. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Don't know.
And he was very excited
It's all a
to find out
blur.
who anybody I'm talking about is, because every time I tell a story, he's like, I don't know who any of these people are. You're
Right.
name dropping.
Got it.
Yeah. So
We're very important.
we did the
know
Linger
that.
Longer Lounge. We unfortunately had to miss Marnie's Christmas because we just had places to be.
You
It just
lingered
did-
longer.
Yeah.
Okay.
And made it to Stacy's, had a great time, and then she and I and Patrick went home for pancakes and snacks and more drinks.
We did.
And I did my asshole thing where I walk along the street on the curb and kind of like do this balancing thing that sometimes works, and when I'm drunk, doesn't. So I kind of fell down, go
Oh,
boom.
fell down.
It was the most graceful stop, drop, and roll I've ever watched.
Let's pretend I was set on fire and then it was medically necessary
I
to stop
saw
and roll.
the flames growing.
Oh, it was not pretty, but I still was able to like
enjoyable.
stand up, pour a beer, and make some waffles in a toaster, and set out sesame sticks. Undaunted, she kept being a gracious hostess. So
Lovely.
that was fun, and
Okay.
then we walked yesterday and today because the weather's been nice, and she's
Yeah.
going back to winter, and I need to get sunlight once in a while, and show the world I'm not truly a vampire.
Right. Do we have a plan of attack of your next triumphant return, Marissa, or no?
Oh God, I hope so. My aunt
I hope it's before it's 1,000,000 degrees here again.
fall.
Oh,
I
next fall.
believe.
Okay.
Potentially, but my boyfriend and I might try and squeeze in like a spring trip.
Oh.
I know.
Okay.
We
Well.
are going to St. Thomas though, February to March.
I feel like she's just name dropping.
I am. I am.
Yeah, now she's
yes.
just like humble bragging.
Yeah.
I am. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
It's fine.
It's all right.
It's fine.
It's not
Okay.
allowed.
She's
Next
gonna do
caller.
makeup down there.
But her boyfriend is working on a new TV series with Dexter's sister, Deborah Carpenter.
Oh.
Oh.
So, and I was
I'm sure that
promised
means
a
something.
FaceTime call.
Oh, I see.
And
what
did not receive.
Oh.
Well, not yet. He still has time.
Well, sure. She's not dead yet.
This
no.
is true.
Yeah.
No, Dexter, my favorite show of all time.
No, I
Dexter's,
know.
Yeah.
I know that. I know
So
who you're
the
talking about.
sister, who will just be beep, if then everyone on network coverage just got the filthiest.
No, wait.
mouth.
So actually, the character's sister or the guy who plays Dexter's
The
sister?
character's sister.
The
Deb,
character's
yeah.
sister.
Her name is not Deborah Carpenter. I just made that up. Her
Oh.
name is Jennifer Carpenter. Her name is Deborah on Dexter.
Okay.
But because she's a real person,
I see.
I've combined.
I'm confused, right?
There's no reason to pay attention to me.
Yes, Jenny, Marnie is planned to be here. She texted earlier and said that she should make it. but-
Allegedly, we do not have confirmed sources on that though.
Exactly.
And if I get a text from her that says she's not going to make it, I'm going to put Al's stunt double in that chair, and we'll have eyes on him in moments. So,
Preserving
Yeah, because
our
I've
journalistic
been
integrity.
banished to the corner.
Well, every
a little
once in
bitty
a while,
chair.
we have to check in with Ernie and find out, like, is
is she
Marina
right?
alive?
Is she right
yeah.
there? Right. Yeah.
Can we do a welfare check?
We might. Yeah, not right now.
Silver
well,
alert
no,
on
because
Marnie.
I actually texted with Marnie earlier to find out if she was coming or not, and she had. She has to submit payroll. She was
She
working on
remember
that.
she's been locked in on patios.
Yeah.
She's been trapped
I,
under
I
heavy
remember
things.
that show. That was a lot of fun
There's
too.
that. Okay, well, so we'll move on, and so you can see him next to me right here in the shot.
Where we-
Again,
where we- this one?
there you. Oh, there's the camera. Yes, this is my cousin Michael, my slightly older cousin. We grew up together in our hometown of Joplin, Missouri, all those years. And you've all listeners who've heard me talk about it. He lives in our family home that you bought from the daughters. Still lives there now, and as a corporate pilot, flies all over the place. You occasionally listen to us when you're bored, wherever it is you
Wherever
wind
it
up.
is, wherever I end up, I'll
Wherever you
tune
wind
in
up.
and
So you're
listen
here.
to the chaos.
Places without other civilization, apparently.
Yeah. What am I gonna do tonight? Oh, I'll turn them on.
Well, so he's here. He's here tonight, and then tomorrow night you're in Chicago.
yeah, just real quick. just
Well,
stepping
you
back.
turn it back for Chicago.
Yeah.
Oftentimes you go to the Bahamas for these people. New York. He is in New York City.
You can just
I'm
stop
in
and
New York
pick
City
me
all
up
the time.
anytime you need to. I have a passport and an open
Okay.
schedule.
Well, I don't know. You don't know how to work a calendar, so we're not
Well,
sure.
yeah.
That's why my schedule's
show
so
up
open.
and-
How the fuck do
wouldn't be
I
there.
know if I got plans?
Yes. So, how are things with you? What are you doing? Anything new that I don't know about?
Nothing new really. I've just been busy and ended up here on this show, and
Yeah,
whether that's a good thing or not,
I
I know.
know.
But let's
But-
get your travel agent on the phone and find out what
Right.
happened there.
Yet to be determined if this is a success for you or not. But
Yeah.
we'll find out.
But leaving early in the morning to go back and probably fly somewhere and finish up the year for the silly season.
It's really
And then-
it's convenient for him. He lives like less than a half a mile from the airport, so he literally lands the plane, and the vehicle doesn't even get warmed up to the drive home, and he's home.
Yep.
It's
I know. I
It's that
put
quick.
that together later. That you're flying that fucking plane.
yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
And it's very cool. He sent the other day he was flying from Washington D.C. right when you were texting me.
Yeah.
You
yeah, on the
text
way
and
back.
fly.
Well, once he's up in the air, yeah, because they have
That
Wi-Fi.
doesn't seem safe.
They have
know.
Wi-Fi, but
Doesn't
what,
seem
it's
safe.
just interesting. He
Yeah,
sent
Hands
me.
at 10 and 2.
The
Texting.
concern wasn't whether or
No
not they had a
texting.
signal. I was concerned for the
I've got
There's
patient.
two
I've got the
pilots.
Instruction manuals on
so
this
one
side.
can text.
Right, one
Now I
And
understand
the
that.
maps over here.
Yeah.
No, but I'm never going to stop being amazed with the fact that he's in this plane flying at whatever speed, and he actually sent me 2 pictures of the horizon, and I just responded back, flat earthers, something
Yeah.
funny. But it's astounding to me that the technology, I can text him in a jet above Washington D.C., miles away, sitting at home. I just think that's astounding still. And we were both talking about the fact that it's a shame our grandfather, my
The
mom's.
FAA doesn't listen to this, do they?
Who
'Cause
knows?
I feel
Well,
like
not now, not in
like
this.
texting above our nation's capital.
The NSA is
Again,
going to tell
frowned
them.
upon.
we're fucked.
Not in this
10 and 2.
administration.
10 and 2.
Right, here's a 10 and 2.
No, it's and our grandfather is my mom's father. So it's just amazing. If we could share all this with him,
So
it'd be
first
so
that's-
cool.
That's typically how cousins work.
Yeah.
My aunt Susie and my aunt Susie and my mom are sisters, and this is how we
Oh,
got.
Susie, that was here.
Yeah, that's his.
That's my mom.
Yeah.
Now you understand. It's all clear now.
We've shared things.
Yeah. Oh, yes, absolutely, very much so. So that's it. That's cool. And they're getting ready to build a house up north of where the house currently is. They bought land, and
Got the current house for sale, which is sad because it's the family house.
Yeah.
But time goes by.
Time
And
has to
there's
move
a
on.
5-lane
Don't look
highway
at
in
me.
the front yard,
Nothing
and-
has any value to
well,
me.
they widened they widened the goddamn highway, so it's like
He'd
literally
sell
on his
you for
front
theater
porch.
tickets. Like, he don't
Yeah.
care.
He doesn't care.
I would.
He got.
I know we just met.
That's how, see, that's how the calendar comes in. Calendar dates don't matter.
Yeah.
Time.
Yeah. Nothing else
No,
matters.
there's no
No.
sentimental
No.
value attached to anything.
No.
Maybe my cable box.
Yes, your DVR is your gospel right there. I understand. Well, and this is the first time you've be able to be here and be on the show. So there's
Yeah,
that.
the timing
Timing
worked
did
out.
work.
So
I was actually concerned I wasn't going to be able to see you because usually your schedule is tighter, but you've got this evening. So we went to lunch at my mom's earlier today,
Oh, very
and
nice.
then he checked into his hotel and came here, and boom, here we all for that.
and we used to do the radio show together.
The one you grew up
Z103
in?
back in
home,
Joplin.
yeah,
Right.
not
Oh,
the
he
one I lived in.
Yeah, he
no.
grew up
one
in the
he grew
radio.
up
He
in?
told
He
us
grew
about
up.
that.
No, but that's true.
He
The
was
radio.
literally fit right in it.
We used
That's
to.
what we've always pictured.
We
Yeah.
cruised Maine in an old Ford van that had the Z103 logo on the side, and on Friday nights and broadcast live.
Broadcast live. Give away
From-
Pepsi. Pepsi sponsored it, so
Yeah.
we gave away Pepsi.
Pepsi and any other crap that was in the van. We just gave it all away.
Yeah.
Anything that was left over from a broadcast from wherever.
Just driving around a van giving shit away.
Yep.
Wow,
Yeah.
nothing's
Yeah.
changed.
We didn't ask anybody into the van. No,
One
Were
for
there-
lack of trying.
Yeah, were there curtains?
no, there were
Said
not
free
curtains.
candy right on the side.
It was in really small font.
Yeah. Oh, and Janissa is your friend for Janissa? How do you say it?
Janissa.
Janissa.
Yeah,
Janissa.
She's my friend from the city.
Oh,
Is she very impressed by the leaps that your career is taking by being
She
here?
is. She's
Yeah.
like, wow, you're surrounded by all these famous people. She's.
you mean on the
Yeah.
movie set or here?
No, here.
Oh my God!
Here.
How delusional is Janissa?
Well,
My God.
it's later there,
There.
so she's got to be pretty
Oh,
drunk.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, please start. We encourage that.
That's it. My
It's like
gosh.
10:30, so she should be well on her
Oh,
way.
that's right. It is. It's 10:34 in New York. So.
It is, and she's got to go.
Turns
to
out I
work
know how to work
tomorrow.
clocks.
No, 9:34, because we're on.
Oh, it's
no,
2
it
hours.
is.
Yeah, it's only 2 hours now.
Oh,
It is
that's right. We're
winter.
on mountain.
I
It's
keep
winter.
forgetting all about. Yeah, I wish I had my bicycle. I did that for you, Ken.
No.
Well, he said winter, and it reminded me of Miss Hepburn.
Lion in the winter.
Winter.
And you, what'd you do this week?
Well, gosh, what transpired this week that was of any?
How was Fernando's graduation party?
It was lovely. It was a nice coming together of very many different friends of his because there were people from the drag community. There were a lot of people from Gentiva, which he works for, and he's worked for I think 27, 28 years.
Long time.
Long time.
So there were a lot of people that his mom and his sister were there. It was just very interesting to see the diversity of people that are all part of his life. And it was lovely. The food was really, really great. He had it catered. Kenny Thames, a local jazz musician from here, he and his band played for a while.
Oh, how
And then-
nice. Because they played at your opening, too, right? At the
They
opening
did.
night?
Yeah, they did.
They're
Yeah.
very good.
So it was very cute to see everybody come in and interact, and I think it was very heart-filling for Fernando to see all those people come together for him for something that he worked very, very hard to accomplish, which is his master's degree. And now he has decided he's going to take a year off and then go for his doctorate.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm
You
like,
know, school addicts, it's a thing.
that's what he does.
You know what I mean? Like, eventually you got to graduate.
But I don't know exactly how this is all working with him, but I do know, and I don't know if this is his situation, but you don't have to pay back student loans as long as you're still in school.
Right, that's why people
Oh,
get
there you
addicted.
go.
People do it.
So I don't know if
and
that's
then they
the
die
case.
owing $700,000.
Yeah, whatever. But you,
Yeah,
but,
just stay in school
Stay
too.
in school.
However many credit hours it takes to defer that loan
Right, boom.
until
Keep
you're
going.
dead.
I think it's halftime.
Don't know. But so that was fun
Yeah.
to be there and to see him with all that. As long as because I've known him the full 25 years I've been here in town. So that was very cool to see that and be part of that. I went with Stacy
And
Lewis.
everybody scheduled every fucking thing for this last Saturday. There was
Yeah.
2 graduation parties. There was Marnie's party. Then there was Fernando's party. I'm like, there's okay.
Well, and after
I'm picking the one
Well,
that I
and,
planned.
And a lot of people at Fernando's party, we were like the first stop of 10 of the day.
yeah.
We're like, okay, we
well,
gotta
that was
go to
my
something
first
else.
stop of 2 because
Oh.
I then that evening went 2 doors down from here. Alan, that's in
Yeah.
the chat, Alan Sledge, had a gathering, and it was very interesting. Beth McDonald was there from KEZ, Tim Hattrick from Tim and Willie, a bunch of other people, and I had some very interesting conversations with. You're how old, Marissa?
24.
24. Two kids were there about your age. That one is he's a music producer. He does it all himself. He plays a bunch of instruments and produces all of his own stuff, and all of it's online. He doesn't perform anywhere, but he produces all of his music and does stuff with other artists online. And the young lady that we talked to,
That's how we got Justin Bieber.
she exactly.
Good or bad.
That's right. And then she just graduated from the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism with a PR major. So we actually spent, it was Tim Hattrick, myself, and these two, about an hour and a half of just talking about social media and how it works and how they work with it. And my mind was just blown about how they all work. It was fascinating because they talk about it like, again, it's a second language to them. They know all of it.
And we had to explain how to tag Postinos to Doug yesterday.
But it was a very interesting.
All right,
From
you
the
know-
cradle to the grave. You know what I mean?
That was a very, very cool thing. And then last Wednesday night, I went with Stacy. He wants to do, and I love how he does things. He already had signed the contract. The ink wasn't even dry before he realized he didn't have a host for this evening he wanted to do. We're going to start a trivia night on Mondays at Stacy's before karaoke starts. He wanted me to be the host. Come to find out, the way that it works with the group, the people he contracted with, the host has to be an actual employee of that company.
Right.
Guess who's
Congratulations
a
on
new,
your
guess
new
who's a
job.
new
Good
employee
job. There you go.
of a trivia company out of L.A. To do one night for him, which is fine. But we went to a cute little. The food was amazing out in Awatuki. It's called the Irish Hare, Hare, the Irish Hare. They had
Because otherwise that's gross for a restaurant.
I was just going to
right. I didn't understand the whole thing. But anyway, the food was really, really good, and the caramel sauce.
What's the awful thing they call redheads?
Gingers.
Fire crotch.
Fire
Okay.
Irish hair, fire crotch, right? Tomato.
But anyway, the food was great. We learned how their karaoke goes. Or their trivia goes. But the cool thing that I learned there was the woman who owns the restaurant is actually from St. Louis, which was kind of funny because I met her daughter and we talked about Missouri. But
all people do.
The caramel sauce that they make for the cheesecake, they make themselves. And we were trying to identify the flavor, and we thought it was maple syrup. We thought it was a maple. Come to find out, it's made with Guinness beer.
Oh.
And it was really good. But I don't think it's alcoholic anymore by the time they make a cream or a caramel sauce out of it.
No,
But
once you
God,
it
it was
burns
good.
off.
It was so good. Anyway,
I
so
accidentally brought a champagne cake for an alcoholic's birthday, but we had to find out that it all cooks off.
well, see, that's good.
can't go
That's
drunk off
fine.
it.
You get to
I
keep,
tried, but you
you
can't
get to
get drunk
keep all
off
your
it.
coins for that month.
But
It's
if you
okay.
go the other direction, you can make champagne jello shots. You have to chill your liquor if you want it to stay in food, not heat it up.
Oh.
Well, look at us
Make
learning
a
how to
whole
drink
champagne
more.
We're
Or-
going to have a cooking show eventually.
Courtesy of Cat Carlson. Let's
Yeah.
drink more.
Sure.
My
He'll be in here
heavens.
with sternos and everything.
Ooh, we've
Don't-
never done. Well, I don't think we should
threaten
have
me
those
with a
inside.
good time.
Well, maybe we can do those inside. I'm not really sure.
We'll bust out the blender again.
Oh, we've still got that. We can still do that. Well, let's see. Now that we've moved on from that, let's see if we can pull off this.
Obsession. Are you obsessed? Is it keeping you up at night? Do you find yourself constantly making references only to be met with blank stares? Obsession. This segment is for you. Obsession. Whether it's musicals, mowers, Motown, Subarus, or Sondheim, it's time to share your obsession. Obsession. With the show with Clayton McKee.
Well, all right. Well, this is the time where we go around the table again and find out what anybody has been obsessed about over this past week, if there indeed was something. Kat, do you have anything?
Well, I forgot this was a segment, so
That you did the voiceover for.
Yeah.
I always forget that that's a thing I should prepare for when I don't prepare for the show. But I did just finish, so I had a bit of a down day on Sunday because I ended up clocking like 16 and a half hours at the bar on Saturday altogether, like you do.
Like you do.
So on Sunday I died.
Okay.
And
We were all dead.
Same.
Yeah, one grave.
super dead. In fact, it was like making Sharon angry because I would put on a TV show and then like 8 minutes later,
It's okay.
and she would reach for the remote and I would wake up and I'd be like, "What are you doing?" Basically, I've turned into my father
Okay.
again. Yeah, this is a recurring theme in my life. I'm just becoming more and more like Bob Carlson.
What's the commercial where the
With the what?
what's the commercial on TV now where is it a Geico commercial where the
I don't know. I was asleep.
where they become their father?
Oh yes. Yeah. No, is that Geico? I forget what it is, but you're right. The
Yeah.
one where everybody becomes their father.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a butterscotch? I'm not sure. Is that good? That's good. All right.
How about
It was-
a round of
it was not a
jalapeno
surprising
poppers for
twist.
the boys?
But in between the many naps that I took, I
Uh-huh.
did get to finish season 2 of The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, which needs to be like a 20-year show. That just needs to happen forever.
Just the costuming.
And the
on
fact that they
show.
went to the Catskills, I was like, are you kidding me? My favorite musical dance movie about abortions set in the Catskills.
Dirty Dancing, best dance movie about an abortion
Best
ever.
dance movie about an abortion you've ever seen. So yeah, my obsession with the Catskills is renewed.
Okay.
So I may need to go to there and pretend like I'm a wealthy Jewish woman from the 50s. I'm not sure how I'm going to pull this all off, but
They
It's
also had Methodist ones, so you know what I mean? If you couldn't pull off
Oh.
the Jew thing, you can just go just down the road to the Methodist campground. They probably shared a lake
amazing.
and something dirty in the trees.
Amazing.
We don't know.
Yeah, super funny, that show. And I also watched, and I'm not sure how I feel about it, but I finished Homecoming, the Julia Roberts show. That
Very disturbing.
very strange. I know.
Yeah.
I was like, and
Yeah.
I kind of like about 3 episodes in, I'm like, this is gonna end, and I'm just gonna go, okay.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. Yeah, that's what happened. So that was my adventure in between naps, and I took a lot of them.
Very good.
At the end.
That's all right. I'm actually getting excited though, thinking about the Adventures in Hangovers Day. Though I'm trying to make sure that I'm prepared for that, because what they do on
such a mess.
on New Year's Day, like
love it.
everybody goes and does all their madness on New Year's Eve.
Of course.
And then is it 8 a.m. you guys open? 8 a.m. on New Year's Day.
Oh,
Show up in your
God.
onesie, your hair all
Come
fucked
back
up,
to
whatever you went to
bitches.
sleep in.
whatever, and just continue on.
Yeah,
So I'm trying to plan my day as much. It'd probably be about noonish before I get
that's
there.
fine. You
but I-
know, you should start your year on a high note, and we are happy to provide
Yeah.
that high notes and some low notes.
Yeah, and so yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, not everybody has a great day.
Are
that
you showing
day.
up in your onesie?
I have to get one.
I have formal pajamas that I'd be happy to
Actually,
wear.
you know what I actually have though, and I assume it still fits because it's a tarp.
It's
No, remember, I wound up with. Actually, I think it was. I wound up with one of Grandma's, the red robe, a red kind of a crushed velvet robe of
Was
hers.
she Santa Claus?
yeah.
Maybe,
Mrs. Claus?
maybe.
Do you have
But-
the boots with the fur to go with it?
I've got the
Was she
apple bottom
Stevie
jeans.
Nicks? I don't know where this
Yeah,
story is going.
Stand back! Stand back! No, I may just show up in that with a black V-neck underneath it.
Well, yeah.
That'll be
that'd
lovely.
I'm sure.
The kids will like
I
that. a lot.
think it's in the front. It's in
Well,
the
the-
hall closet.
Red gown and a black V-neck. It looked like the devil's coming through the
Yeah.
It'll work. I'll have my
floating through the.
I won't do my hair though. I'll wear a hat
Oh.
because to blend in. You know, I don't want to be an outlier.
So the point of this segment is
Oh.
actually
Oh yeah, we were supposed to be
to
obsessed
tell us about
something.
any person, place, or thing, or current event, or pop culture, or whatever you've got that you
Right.
just can't stop thinking about watching, listening
Right.
to, whatever
All
it
the
is.
above, yeah.
Go. It's your
Okay.
turn.
I'm on
We
the
go over
clock.
now.
We do.
Go back to this show. Now,
It's not
Yeah.
a square.
now you can see everybody kind of.
I am so obsessed with the show.
With Clayton McKee? Oh.
No.
I am, yes.
I can't wait till it's over.
It's the Great British Baking Show on Netflix. That I get home from like a terrible day. I can watch like 2 to 3 episodes.
Is it actually a baking show or is
It
it a
is.
series
No,
about a cooking show?
It's a series. It's like a season of 12 bakers who come onto a show, and each week it's a different challenge, like cakes and
Okay.
biscuits and things like that.
Sounds like something my mother would watch.
They are okay. Yes, maybe
She loves cooking shows, so
Maybe her and I could be friends.
sure, I'm sure you could.
Probably.
She's lovely.
We
You'd
take
like-
applications later. Yeah.
And it is like the people are so nice. It's not like America when they're so just like
Bitchy,
Awful.
yes,
like
Yeah.
all
here.
of the above. And they are absolutely
Right.
lovely.
Okay.
Absolutely lovely. And it is so calming. Their accents are great. And then they all like congratulate each other. They cry when everybody gets voted off, and it's just like it's such a happy moment.
Oh, that's
That
fun.
is-
Look at that feel-good moment of the
Right.
show,
Oh,
ladies and
yes.
gentlemen.
Thank you.
Enjoy those, people. We don't have a lot of those on this show.
Merry fucking Christmas, assholes. There's some happy.
That's right.
Al Perkins.
Mine is the fact that because I only have 3 people that I understand how Instagram works. The Onion is one of the 3 people I know, and
Oh, that's nice.
on the Instagram, because it's not watered down by all these people I don't know, because the Onion might be that vile on Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
or they've been
But you
banned
don't
from
see it,
Facebook
right?
and they moved it all to Instagram. Just follow them and then ignore everyone else you know, and you will be offended in horrifying amounts. The complete opposite of what the kindness that she was speaking of.
I'm going to there right now.
Oh my God! They
Oh.
had, when George Bush died, they were like he was being honored for all the things he did for AIDS quilters. I mean, there is just there's just no bottom to how awful they are on
I
there.
do enjoy the Onion with the headlines that they come up with. It's just hilarious.
And there's not one thing that they've put up that I felt like I could share without being like shot dead in the street. So I just sit there and I'm like,
oh my
who
God,
the
who writes this
fuck?
shit? Yes.
And if you're not familiar with The Onion, they are a satirical magazine that used to be out of Wisconsin. And then in August of 2001, they moved their offices to New York City. And so their first edition was delayed for obvious reasons. So when they finally put up their first published in New York
Oh God.
edition, it just said, "What the fuck was that?" And so
Holy shit.
that was when they decided that like humor was allowed back in New York City.
Right.
Was with The Onion on every corner, like
Yeah.
newsstand.
The
What the fuck was that?
Some of their headlines are very, very funny.
Oh God, one of their other favorite headlines for them from back in the day was "Ship runs into iceberg, metaphor discovered." Like,
The metaphor was discovered.
Yeah.
We never thought about that.
we never thought about
So
calling
weird.
it a Titanic.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's just fucked up and always in the worst taste.
God, what's one of your favorite obsession or favorite things? Anything?
I don't know because I don't binge watch a lot of stuff. I listen to podcasts. Probably the only thing that I'm kind of obsessed with right now, just because of the current political climate.
What's going on?
Is just
Is there something going on we don't know
if
about?
you haven't
Things
been
are
around in the
happening.
last
It's
few
very
months,
busy.
Yeah, don't worry, there'll be breaking news in like
And
5 seconds.
and I think of it as binge watching because it wherever I end up, I have to go watch.
'Kay.
Is Rachel Maddow.
Oh God, I've
not-
never
not-
heard of her.
And not that she's really good at what she
Clayton's
does and her
boyfriend
team
is
and
famous-
everything. It's just the way it's like the
Oh, it-
best continuing series
Oh,
saga
yeah.
Yeah.
of what's going on.
Absolutely.
She's a
Just-
great storyteller. She's
know,
she's
so
the
it's-
lesbian Paul Harvey. And now
Clayton's bedtime story.
So
The rest of the story.
Rachel,
at
tell
home
me a
and
story.
when it comes on at home, everything stops. We go watch it. If
Now,
I'm on the road,
aside from that though, because you and I were talking earlier, what podcasts do you follow? Because these two follow a lot of different podcasts that I don't. What podcasts do you listen to?
I listen. Well, I'm a sciencey guy, so I listen to
Right.
Star Talk, stuff like that. Preet Bharara, the
Mm-hmm.
attorney that got fired, he's got a really good podcast. Of course, Rachel Maddow's Bagman.
The Bagman,
That was
I
an
just
excellent,
finished that. That
you
was
know,
good.
Just a short one, but really
And
good.
you like
7 episodes.
you like Chris Hayes. Why is this happening with Chris Hayes?
I haven't. My wife
Stacey does.
Yeah,
Stacey
Stacey does.
listens.
I haven't listened to it yet. She says it's really good, and I probably will at some point.
Have you listened to Dr. Death yet?
No.
Oh. Get
Is it
on.
good?
Oh, yeah, Dr. Death.
Yeah.
I'm never going to the doctor again, by the way, because of this podcast.
Yeah, they've talked about this before. It makes you scared.
And there's a few
I'm gonna
aviation, of course,
die of a
aviation
hangnail
ones
in
I
my own
listen to,
house.
but that's probably about it. I just they automatically download, and I'm like, oh,
Right.
there's a new one.
Right.
And I'll
Yeah.
plug it in and listen to it.
Well, you do like I do because you listen. You said you were listening. You had a pair of headsets. You listen like when you're out in the field or doing
Yeah, or
something
mowing
else.
or
You
doing
listen,
something, yeah.
listen to something else. I do the same thing, but it's amazing. Some of them that you listen to. But yeah, the Bagman was good. But I've got to find something else. I'm still hooked on the whole slow burn. Anything to do with Watergate because
Well, and did you listen to the Watergate one?
What slow burn? That was all Watergate.
Was that what it was called?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, but I lost track of where I was.
I
li-
recommended it, but I don't know what it's called.
I listened to
So then
some.
they did a second series with the Clintons, right?
I don't recall. I
Oh,
haven't-
yes.
But I
yes,
actually
yes.
haven't finished the first run of Slow Burn, which was all about Watergate, because I actually
It really
listened
is
to
a
so
slow
many
burn.
in sequence that I lost track of where
Where-
I was.
Oh, yeah.
So I've got to go back and figure out where to pick up because I don't know how it turns out.
Oh. Well,
Kind
the
of.
70s.
Another one I listened to, it's been really good, and I haven't got caught up with it all, is The More Perfect. And it's about
The More Perfect?
The More
Oh.
Perfect. It's about the Supreme Court.
Yes.
And all it put on by ProPublica.
Oh, I don't know
And,
about that.
Yes, that's a really good one.
So-
Like a more perfect union. It's all about the forming of the Supreme Court and like their decisions.
Yeah.
It doesn't go like just controversial decision by.
Yeah, why somebody got on it, or why this decision happened, or why
Yeah.
this judge is
Oh, it
there.
goes
It'll,
through all
it'll
of their-
take like one judge or one story or one decision, and it
Right.
follows them.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
And
that's a
stuff
really
you
good
didn't
one.
really know about, and why it's like that.
Oh.
And it's really interesting.
Oh, well, I
Yeah.
didn't know. But the
Yeah, that's a
the
really
more
cool
perfect-
one.
the
I've
more
listened to a
perfect-
couple
more
of those.
perfect.
I'm going to write this down. Traditional spelling, perfect.
Yeah,
got it.
perfect.
Okay, got it. No, there's that. God, for me, I don't really know what. I've been cleaning. I feel like that's always an end of the year thing. It's just the attempt to try to make a fresh, clean slate at the beginning of the year. No, just. But no, I did clean out because that closet behind you, Marissa. Don't open it, please don't. The bodies will fall out. I'm trying to organize because they all joke about the fact that they claim I'm a hoarder, but you can freely walk through any room of this house. So I'm not a hoarder. There's not it.
Just don't look under the bed.
I just save a lot of stuff, and it's all organized in boxes.
I'm not a hoarder, and don't look under my bed either.
Yeah.
Unless you want to meet that.
I don't.
So few do.
Yeah.
So organizing, cleaning, this, that, and the other.
Good luck finding the one that does.
Trying to plan the end of the year. Like I said, this trivia thing is coming up. I've got plans in my head of how that's going to all work.
Only you knew someone with a head full of trivia.
Well, no.
No, they're gonna feed it to
Now,
them.
wait.
It's
Now,
coming
here's
from
the
a
thing
company.
with this.
Just kidding, yeah.
Here's the thing with this, and I questioned them on this. They actually have a team of writers, and they email me the questions every week because it's part of a national network. So there are teams that play, and you can sign up and be part of a annual $10,000 pot that's done. I don't know how it's all done. I haven't figured all that out yet, or I haven't learned all that yet. But no, they send the questions each week, and then you can do teams, and then you get scored on it, and all that hullabaloo. But I feel like I'm going to run it because I found out that they have really no. They have a format of how the questions are asked and how you do that. But as far as the show itself, I'm going to run it very similar to what I used to do when I did bingo at Hamburger Mary's years ago, where it's kind of done more like a game show. Like it's running. It's just a lot more fun because I witnessed somebody else doing it. And I was like, wow.
Oh, it can be awful. Yeah, trivia night can be awful with.
No, right, absolutely. So I've already figured, there'll be.
Yeah, we
the-
had a
the
terrible
music-
host literally just kill ours. We were like,
Right.
and we can't do trivia
And actually,
anymore.
I shared that story with Stacy about this because I said you used to do it and then you handed it off and it was bad, and it went bad
Awful.
based on what they tried to do, and you've got to read your audience better and be a little more local, which is what I'm going to do. I feel like they're trying to be a little more almost corporate-y, and I don't want.
Oh, is she locked out?
How could she be locked out? Who locked the door?
Did I lock the door?
Did you lock the door?
I don't know.
Well, go check. I don't
I
think.
feel like somebody just knocked on
I feel like
Oh.
she would have. I
Did
feel
we
like
order pizza? I heard it too.
or somebody trying to
Go
get
look
out
at
of
the
the
camera.
or somebody trying to get out of the refrigerator.
Don't you have daylight cameras?
I-
Like, why aren't we looking
well, I
at
don't-
them?
well, no, because I can't pull them. I don't
Go
know.
go jump in front of the light, Al.
I don't know. She hasn't
You'll
sent
light
me-
everything up.
You sent
It's
a-
like it's like the searchlights at the spook houses. Just go towards the light.
You sent
Yeah.
you sent a photo to me, Kat. Do you want me to use that? Is that going to be used in this show?
At some point, yeah, I imagine.
Oh my
Was that
god! Look
Barney?
at that.
Was there
Oh.
anything there?
No.
No,
Interesting.
who knows?
Fucking haunted house now. God damn it.
The poltergeist follows you.
I'm out.
I'm like, wait, it happens. Okay, are we organized enough to know what headlines
Yeah.
we're doing? Oh well, let's try this. Let's try this and see how this goes. And you guys don't really have to do anything to this. But hang on. Here we go. It's our headlines segment. We'll see if we can pull this off on Q Talk America right here and now. Oh, barter system for food?
Put all kinds of shit on your lawn.
Fart lace glitter bomb.
Man kills roomie over music choices.
Last call never comes.
I don't know what this says.
More stories from Al.
Man ordered to watch Bambi monthly.
More stories from Kat.
Trump did something good.
And Curious Cat is shipped 700 miles away on accident. Oh, there's that. We got through that.
We really
Isn't that
nailed
exciting?
that.
No, I think
We
that
did.
went really
Yes.
well.
We'll be right back in about 2.5 minutes. Stick with us.
Was it solid or liquid? I think it started out as solid, but now I'm not so sure.
You're listening to Q Talk America.
Educates, syncopates, radio communicates, radio, the sound of year-round pleasure.
This is the Q Talk America Radio Network.
Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, show 371 back on the air. It is the final show for us on 2018. It's Q Talk America on, what is this? It's a Tuesday night.
I can hardly believe it.
You're in Studio C with the illustrious cast of the show. Kat Carlson is here. Marissa is here. Marnie's on her way. Al's in the kitchen. I'm think getting wine or something. I'm not sure.
Doug
Oh, there's
has-
Al.
Oh, there he is.
Settle down.
There's Al.
And
my,
Doug has the night off.
my cousin Mike is sitting right next to me. He's right there. Hi.
Oh,
And
can we shuffle? Is she on her way?
yeah, she'll be in about 20, 30 minutes. She's on her way. She actually lost track of time in a meeting. I called her and she's like, oh, thank you for interrupting me. I didn't know what time it was. It happens.
Because she was telling a story.
It happens. I'm going to leave this two-shot up of both angles of our room so you can see everybody. We're all sitting around the table. It's time for our headline segment, and it goes something like this. Well, police in Florida, Florida, of course, say
Florida.
a 23-year-old man, well, he went to a McDonald's drive-thru and tried to pay for his order with a bag of weed.
You know, at some McDonald's that actually works, though.
It might.
So, I
It
mean,
very
God,
well
God
might.
bless him.
It's more popular.
Port St. Lucie police say that the fast food worker denied the trade request and a stoned Anthony Gallagher drove away. Only to return again later, a short time, police arrested him on Sunday on charges of marijuana possession and driving under the influence. Police were alerted to Gallagher's offer early Sunday morning and got a description of him from the worker. They say that a suspect matching his description went through the drive-thru a little bit later in the day. I mean, if you're stoned, you're probably going to be hungry often, is my guess. Police then approached him. It is unclear if Gallagher attempted to pay for his second order with drugs the second time. It is also unclear if he currently has a lawyer.
Well, if
So-
at first you don't succeed.
I
We know he's going
appreciate
to pay
it.
for the lawyer.
Would you like some weed?
And if ever there was a state that needed legal marijuana, I mean, they have gators.
Oh, no
Come on.
kidding.
Florida needs to be a stone state. I got it. Okay.
And the people.
Well, the Florida
It might,
voters are going
level,
to be
you know
able
what
to
I mean?
vote
It
again.
might level them out. It might be what they need.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean? The Judy Garland thing. Like, clearly, the other drug is at full tilt.
So are you saying It counteracts the bath salts. Wasn't that a big thing?
Oh,
The bath
yes.
salt?
Yeah, the guy
Yeah.
that ate somebody else's face. Or
Yeah.
They were doing all the
that's
things.
right. They
Or
did
there
have
was
all
what
that.
was the knockoff heroin? It was something like alligator or
Oh
crocodile.
yeah,
or,
it's crocodile. Yeah, because it
Yeah.
gives them the scaly skin.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
We like to Google that at work.
give
Oh.
them
Scaly stuff.
give them weed.
Scaly skin. Scaly skin.
Because they're wearing their headgear.
Yeah.
Well,
Segue that one, Kat.
I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna start reading. A certain Christmas display is the talk of the town in Newton, New Hampshire. That's our photo that I gave you.
Oh, I'll get right on that.
And it's proving that one person's trash is another person's treasure. Melissa Howard says nobody wanted that big ugly chair, so she left it in the front lawn 3 months ago, hoping someone would take it. They have not. It just kind of ended up sitting out here, and I forgot about it because of other stuff going on.
No.
How do you forget?
Tale
a
as
chair
old
in
as
your
time.
front
Yeah.
lawn?
Tale as old as time.
I put that
Put a
recliner in
chair-
my front yard and I've never seen
And
it.
I've never looked back, and it's been there the whole time. Well, someone had enough and turned to Facebook, of course, to complain about it.
No, yeah.
The post said, "Please, we're done looking at it. Get rid of the chair. Take it to the dump." Melissa Howard, on the other hand, had another idea. A week ago, she placed a stuffed Rudolph onesie on it and called it a Christmas decoration. And the town took it from there.
Oh my god.
The town went crazy, she said. They wanted to decorate the damn chair. Every night, something new has been added. The negative Facebook post actually brought a lot of people together over this big ugly chair.
Oh.
That's what
I know.
Christmas does.
Yeah, heartwarming. People putting trash on somebody's front lawn. She says, I stay in my kitchen window and I catch people driving by, and some shake their heads. But there's more people that just stop and smile and
Look at
laugh.
that
And
lovely
that's what
chair.
I want all of this to be about.
Oh my
Just something
God.
to laugh,
Look at
smile,
that.
and
It's a
have
beautiful.
Well, that's Christmassy.
Isn't it?
fun. And birthday.
Yeah, birthday.
And graduation-y.
In a little bit,
is.
14-year-old boy's bedroom. What is the what's the boxer shorts there in the bottom?
Where?
It appears to be a
it's a
blanket.
blanket.
It's a, oh, yeah, it's a blanket wrapped around
That's
something stuffed in
What
a
is
costume.
your mind? What is wrong with you?
It looks,
It's a kilt. It's a kilt.
It's a kill. Oh, yeah.
Scottish formal wear.
yeah, is there a Scotsman
It's an international
underneath?
decoration.
All that
No.
shit.
Well,
Well,
in case you're wondering if this is going to become a tradition,
Oh no.
I was worried.
were you?
No, not really.
The owner of the chair says no. The chair will eventually go to the dump, unless, of course, I forget about it, and then another 3 months goes by,
Yeah.
and then we decorate it for Easter. I'm
We can throw
paraphrasing.
eggs
I'm
at it.
paraphrasing.
Oh.
Yeah, she says I'm not keeping the chair as much as they all want me to keep the chair. She's
No,
inflicting this on her neighbors.
Tale as old as time.
They don't want your chair. However, she does plan to put a park bench out next year, and people can decorate that. Probably with feces.
Hey, whatever gets you through. You know what I'm saying?
What holiday is feces?
The
Isn't
fetch
it-
That's your
Isn't
son.
that St. Patrick's
Fifth
Day?
anniversary
son.
paper. Which one is feces?
St. Patrick's Day, isn't it?
Oh, sure. I thought that was vomit.
Drink it till you shit yourself.
What's your sign? I'm a
is-
feces.
I'm a feces.
Fair.
It's the mud.
Yeah.
It's the mud
The
sign.
judges are going to allow that. Yeah.
I'm hearing from our producers.
yeah.
All right, we're good.
Allowed. We're going to allow it. So things that smell like shit and ex-NASA engineers fart-laced glitter bomb
I love this
stuns
story.
package thieves.
I love this story.
Yeah, that was great.
All
God.
that glitters is not gold for package thieves if they run afoul of Mark Rober's booby trap device. Rober, a former NASA engineer who worked on the Curiosity rover, put his smarts to a more earthly concern recently, stopping jerks who pilfer holiday package deliveries. I did this just today. It was on my porch, but I opened it up and got all excited until I realized it was not for me or my address.
Still looking for the owner.
Rober, himself a victim, spent 6 months developing a baited box that blasts glitter and fart spray. And the glitter is enough. We don't even have to get to the fart spray.
Yeah.
That
would-be
gives it,
thieves,
but
when they
that encourages them to throw it out of the vehicle because it keeps making that smell in your
Yeah.
car.
Oh, okay.
That's the whole point. Every 30 seconds, it does the spray.
Oh, well, can I get to that part?
I'm sorry. I just wanted you to
You ruined it.
understand.
It's like psychic news. He's gonna
I know.
Whatever.
exactly amazing. I say karma right out there. Yeah. The device also takes cell phone video of the culprits, uploads the footage to the cloud, and can be tracked by GPS. Rober's viral YouTube video posted Monday covers the development of his clever boxes of whoop ass, but the best part is watching them detonate on real suspects. The most common reaction was, "What the fuck?" Yeah, that seems fair.
Yes, it
The
is.
moral, again, the
Is that a direct quote?
Yeah, direct quote. Yeah. The moral of the story is just don't take other people's stuff, Rober said. Not only is it not cool, but on the plus side, you'll never find yourself in this situation. Other TikTok victims have used glitter-loaded theft deterrents, but the high-tech touches Rober unleashed on these Grinches are a must-see. So I guess I should have sent you the video, but I didn't.
No, but
Too late.
this.
We'll have to
There's a
describe it.
picture of it. Yeah.
Let me get this. Let me so I can get this picture up here correct. But the video, it's like a 10-minute video, but it's so worth the view. This is the picture of what it. This is a still of when it swirls the glitter out of the. When you take the top
That's
off.
so pretty.
You take the top off and it spins that bowl, and that's what this picture is. I'm showing for those of you not watching. It's just a
cloud
Like a mushroom cloud of
Yeah.
glitter.
Yeah.
Yes, it throws it. But it's a brilliant idea. And apparently this guy, according to the video, he designed something to do with the Mars rover. Like he's
What's I
As a
read that at
NASA
the beginning.
engineer,
I didn't
yeah.
hear
Those that
part.
were listening may have.
You're a dick.
What?
Yeah, feces in his ear.
Funny. Well, they never listen to my story, so
Nope,
when I
not even
listen-
once.
7. It's been 7 years. Not one story.
Many a times they'll say, "Well, remember when we talked about that on the show?" And I'll say, "No."
No,
No.
I don't remember. The only
It's the
thing
last show of the year. Why start now?
No,
Yeah.
no. The only thing we remember is that goddamn dead cat video, or the dead cat story, and retaliatory garden lighting.
Yeah.
That's it.
You remember the greatest hits. You know what I
Sure.
mean? I don't know Madonna's other songs. I'm not her grandmother.
She's dead. I'm sure.
Oh,
I mean,
like Madonna died?
Well, compare. No,
I do not have
no,
that in my
her
headlines.
grandmother.
Her grandmother.
Oh.
Based on the age of Madonna, I'm going to go with her. She's probably.
That's gonna be an awful day in the gay land.
I'm sure. There's a
Oh
lot-
yeah,
Well,
we're not going to handle that
We're
one
gonna have
well.
to shut everything down.
It's like when Cher finally calls it a day. I
Oh.
don't know what's going to happen
I
with
will
that.
all be long
Pandemonium.
dead by that time. Don't
Yeah.
worry.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Maybe. Don't know. I'm not sure what your story was about, but I'm going to transition into a death.
From farting.
Yes. This is a local story in Mesa, Arizona. Police in Mesa say a man in custody for allegedly killing his roommate over their choice of music. Police say officers were sent to an apartment complex last Friday about a reported shooting and found this man, whose last name is Sturgill, at the scene. Sturgill,
If you say Nickelback, I'm gonna allow the murder.
I don't know. Sturgill reportedly told officers, yep, he shot his roommate after an argument and a fist fight over the type of music they were listening to at the time. Police say the victim was pronounced dead at the scene.
Ooh.
That person's name and age have not been yet released. Sturgill told police that he'd been drinking shots and beer with his roommate before the fight and the shooting occurred. They say the 41-year-old Sheldon Sturgill is jailed on suspicion of second-degree murder. It is unclear Monday if Sturgill had a lawyer or what music they were playing at the time.
My guess is Wilson Phillips. I'm just gonna
One more day.
That's a solid,
One-
solid contender.
halfway through that song and I went everybody dead.
Also, anything Creed
Oh, that's fair.
is a
That's-
justifiable murder, justifiable homicide.
It's fair.
Yeah.
The first time I ever
Especially if you open your arms when you're singing with arms wide open,
Oh.
murder.
Yeah.
Just straight like knife in the throat.
Yeah. And go right
Yeah.
right for the larynx so the singing
Right.
stops first.
So it just gurgles.
They might
kind
live
of,
a little
right.
bit longer, but the song is over. You know
Hold
what I mean?
on.
Yeah. One more.
Hold on.
fucking
One
day.
more
Well,
day.
you stab him in the throat, they sound like lead singer just
Yeah.
for a second
Ju-
before
yeah.
they die.
I'm usually not pro suicide unless you're singing Nickelback, and then. What did you have to live
And
for?
then can we assist you in some way?
All options are over.
All right. Well, I love shady people. And the creator of the Broadway musical The Prom has invited Mike Pence to the show. Now, for those of you that don't know, The Prom is about some kids that had their prom canceled because the girl in a small town wanted to bring her girlfriend to the prom, based on many real-life instances that this has happened. And some do-gooders from, like, the New York Broadway scene decide to hoof their happy asses to Indiana or wherever the hell it's set to put on a prom for them.
Wherever the hell
Show's
it's
set.
I
Yeah,
only
exactly.
barely read the
It's a
article.
flyover state. We don't know.
It's a flat right. Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, who fucking
The
knows?
middle.
They're,
The flyover states in the
Flyover.
middle.
right, they're square.
All right.
Nobody knows.
The square
Anyway,
states.
that's the plot as I understand it of the musical. But the creators decided that maybe in their inviting people to come see their show, Mike Pence might appreciate that. We know Mike Pence is a lover of all things LGBTQ.
Oh, he is.
Oh, he is.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm not even going to read the story because it's entirely too long, but that's the gist of it, and I think it's amazing, and I think everybody that goes to New York to see plays should go see this play just for this. The end.
Yeah.
Next
Okay.
caller.
fuck with Mike Pence.
Is the caller?
Well, who was it that had it set up so when you donated to the charity, Mike Pence?
That was we were donating in Mike Pence's name to Planned Parenthood, and they sent
Yeah,
a
that
thank
was
you
it.
card.
And every time one, he got a letter.
He got a
whoever-
letter from Planned Parenthood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is also still an option, and please go ahead and do that.
It seems
You can still
completely
do it.
legitimate to
It
do
seems
that.
like
Because
a nice
of the periods for Pence people who changed their name, and I always forget what they changed their name to.
It's still
Oh.
something. It's similar to that, but yeah, they did change
Yeah,
their
I
Facebook
don't
page. about it.
remember.
Oh, and
The
I
people-
did buy the
people that were all
I
mailing in
loved
their tampons to Pence.
the
What'd you buy?
it's Pence that's got the rabbit
Yes,
bundle. I bought the
Oh,
we
the-
bought the Marlon Bundo book from
Oh.
that John Oliver.
the John Oliver
How's
book
that?
that he was doing.
Oh, right.
Yeah, we got that. It's pretty. It's
We
funny.
should buy the Whose Boat Is This Boat?
I got that one too.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Whose boat is this boat? And it's hilarious.
Is it funny to read through?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Oh, wow.
I mean, there's like through the whole. Of course, it makes sense. There's like 5 sentences in the whole book. And
Okay.
it's all just. It's exactly what Trump said during his visit during the hurricane.
Gotta hurt
And
people.
it all is right in line with whose boat is this boat? This boat got here
is
by.
this your boat?
Is this your
Whose
boat?
boat is
Did
this
somebody
boat?
get here? How'd this boat get? It could be your boat. They came over on the boat.
It's your boat now.
Yeah.
Right, it's your boat now.
He's such a comforter.
Yeah, he's the comforter in chief.
And then in the last page it
Dick
says
one.
the end. There is no moral.
That's good.
That is good. All right, well, we have to say something kind of nice about Trump now.
Why?
I'm sorry.
Oh, God.
The Trump
Is
administration.
this about the day he didn't come to work? 'Cause
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
They rolled out a new federal regulation Tuesday, officially banning bump fire stocks. Those who possess the device, which make it easier to fire rounds from a semi-automatic weapon by harnessing the gun's recoil to bump the trigger faster, will have 90 days to turn it in or otherwise destroy them from the date that the final rule is published in the Federal Registry, likely Friday, according to senior Department of Justice officials. Bump stocks gained national attention last year after the gunman in Las Vegas rigged his weapons with the devices to fire in concert chorus, killing 58 people. This was one of the things that they were talking about after Parkland and after this shooting, and it actually got done. So as we always talk about, like, nothing ever happens with gun reform, I thought this was like a big deal. Unfortunately, his life is such a shit show lately that there's no way to get out, like, that he actually
Did something good.
passed something that we were all looking for.
As immediately as that headline came out, within minutes, the next headline was NRA files suit against Trump administration for.
Of course they did. And then, let me see if I refresh this, if more news has come up. Yeah, 1 hour ago for the New York Times. Thank you very much, New York Times.
Very busy.
Senate passes bipartisan criminal justice bill. So in an amazing turn of events, the Senate overwhelmingly approved on Tuesday the most substantial changes in a generation to the tough on crime prison and sentencing laws that ballooned the federal prison population and created a criminal justice system that many conservatives and liberals thought was costly and unfair. Wow, that did not work.
Aluminum, linoleum.
Aluminum?
Linoleum.
Unique
Unique
New
New York.
Didn't work. The First Step Act would expand job training and other programs aimed at reducing recidivism rates among federal prisoners. It also expands early release programs and modifies sentencing laws, including mandatory minimum sentences for nonviolent drug offenders to more equitably punish drug offenders. The legislation falls short of benchmarks set by a more expansive overhaul proposed in Congress during Barack Obama's presidency and of the kinds of changes sought by some liberal and conservative activists targeting mass incarceration. But it's just amazing that they did, and Trump said he would sign the bill. So that's kind of a big deal that
It is
they're
kind of a big
getting
deal.
with an all-Republican like House, Senate, and White House, that they actually went through with that. And that might
It
be
has
one
to
of
be
the
a
things
trap. I don't believe it. Has
about
to be a
getting
trap.
what's the little elf's name? The little fucker?
Sessions.
Yeah, Jeff Sessions
Oh, yeah.
gone. Because he would have never gone for it.
He's
because
back in his tree
he
now.
wanted, and the cookies are delicious. Thank you.
I like the ones with the fudge just drizzled on the top.
Aren't they wonderful?
Those are the ones. Those are the ones.
Find it. Text her.
So I think that's amazing that they got those two things passed. Like, now they need to decriminalize marijuana, but small doses.
One day at a time.
Yeah, exactly. So there, we said something nice about Trump. I mean, not him personally.
Well, there we go.
Oh, and SNL. Let's just talk about that for a
Oh,
second.
I haven't watched it yet, but I heard that they did.
SNL is just a full frontal attack from all cast members against every person in that administration, and it's just with glee. Like, they are just going at it. There isn't. I mean, it was.
I haven't watched it, but I've heard it was fantastic.
And it was like we watched the last 2 weeks, the one with Matt Damon and the one with Jason Momoa. Oh my God! Like they stopped doing just the funny business at the front. Like they're just nailing them to the cross for the entire 90 minutes, and no one except for the little one is safe. Like only Baron.
Oh, but what, as he
Oh,
should
the
be.
son.
yeah, that is
Yeah.
the only one that they
Well,
leave
it's not
alone.
like she's
but-
Amy Carter.
Wow, sweet. Right, exactly. And even I was part of that crusade. So she was a little homely.
Chelsea's coming for both of y'all now.
Oh, I'm fine with
Oh,
that.
she's got a new book out.
Be fine.
Yeah. Is it Leave Baron Alone?
Um,
.com?
this next story, I
It's
can't
called,
even.
What the fuck was that?
I can't really do a segue from that to this, but this is kind of a story I'm doing for me anyway.
Oh, I'll go out. You need to be alone. Just
No.
let me know.
Are we that kind of
People
a
of
show
a,
now?
people of a certain age, or if you're a car fanatic, will remember what suicide doors are. Lincoln, Suicide Doors will be back soon on the road for its
Shut
80th,
up.
80th anniversary in 2019. Lincoln is bringing back a limited run of its Continental sedan with the iconic doors that are hinged from the rear rather than the front. Now let me show you, for those of you who don't know what suicide doors are. So this is a 1960s Lincoln. Suicide doors, the front one's open traditional, the back one's open reverse. That is called a suicide door. So the new Lincoln that they are putting out is like this. They're putting out.
That's fancy.
Yeah, the coach doors
I got
are
a little ladywood over that one.
coach doors or suicide doors.
Hands where I can see 'em.
So-called, they're called that way because of the danger of opening while the car is moving. Harken back to the famous 1961 model of the car, which is where it started. Lincoln will put out only 80 of the vintage-style Continentals, which debut Monday at a holiday party in Brooklyn before appearing at an auto show in Detroit
There you go.
and in Beijing early next year.
Chinese
Marissa, will you go
people.
pick us one up?
I know.
Absolutely.
Will you stop by and
Just
just
wait
grab
in
us
line.
one? Yeah.
Everybody in this
The,
room gets one.
The company said that the cars are scheduled to be delivered by June of 2019 exclusively in the U.S. and will sell for more than $100,000. Another limited run
We
is
can
set.
share one.
I'll
I
write
changed
you
my
a
mind.
check.
Yeah.
I'll write you a check.
Another limited run is set to come out in 2020. Now, despite its old-fashioned appearance, the Continental will otherwise have modern luxury features such as driver assist and wireless charging. Blah blah blah.
There was nothing about that looked. What was the word you just used?
modern.
No, you said despite
Its old-fashioned appearance, the
Yeah, there was
Continental.
nothing old-fashioned about that
Old-fashioned.
sleek car
Well,
that gave me
just
ladywood.
the
Yeah.
reverse doors. Lincoln is bringing back the classic car after speculation it might take the Continental off the road for good due to declining sales. Only about 12,000 Lincoln Continentals were sold in 2017. That's less than a third of the peak Continental sales in the 1960s when suicide doors were last in vogue. But I every day I wish that I still have my Lincoln Town Car. I miss my Lincoln so much. He remembers my big
That'd be
blue
parked
Lincoln.
I
across
remember
the
that.
street.
It's huge.
It would, yeah.
It, well,
Take
it would
up the
span from
whole-
here to across
Yeah, that's
the
what I'm
street.
saying,
Like,
yeah.
it would block the road.
It was a wonderful.
park it in
She
the
was
backyard.
thirsty. She was thirsty, but it was a great car.
6 miles to the gallon.
Maybe. No, I think I was at
colors?
9. But
Going downhill.
but it was like driving a couch.
Well, what
My-
colors does this new car come in?
Oh, good, great question.
Well, then I don't
Good
know, but
question.
but
Because
this
that
is
ice
this
blue
is a
is
beautiful.
That,
That's
yeah.
beautiful.
That ice blue is beautiful.
Goes-
That's
Goes
giving me all the
gray.
feelings.
And I wouldn't even be upset with if it came in this color, whatever that
Right.
beautiful
me
gray
neither.
is.
Oh yeah, like let's call it gunmetal, shall we?
Back and to the left.
Must we?
Back and to the left.
I can still see his blood.
There's that. Jesus Christ. Segue out of a.
He makes a Kennedy joke and I get in trouble.
Oh, we all do. Make a segue
right.
out of a Kennedy joke, Cat.
Wait, I'm looking up the colors for the new Lincoln.
Oh,
She's getting one on order.
really?
I'm doing breaking news and journalism right here. Stand by.
What are you, our new auto trader girl? Jesus Christ. We found out last week that the
KBB.com, here I come.
missed connections
Carvana.
on Craigslist is still available, and you're looking at
Oh,
car
there was an
colors.
online
that's true.
plea
Can I-
for that.
Can I get one on Carvana?
Hey, Aaron.
All right.
Oh,
Magnetic gray metallic,
Okay.
burgundy,
Yeah.
Ooh.
ruby red metallic,
Okay.
Ooh.
white platinum metallic,
Not sure.
Mm-mm.
Ghost.
Ingot silver
I
metallic.
don't know what this is.
Blue diamond.
I bet that's
Blue
blue
diamond.
Blue diamond.
Ooh.
That's
Orange
lovely.
stars.
Okay.
Yellow clovers.
Neighbor to white diamonds.
I feel like this is
I
Lucky
almost didn't
Charms.
smell like
I,
white diamonds.
I apologize in advance
For
what's about to come out of my mouth.
Okay.
Oh no!
But
Plug your ears.
You've never done that before.
earmuffs, I know.
You've never done that before.
So there's two names for hard-ons: a blue veiner and a diamond cutter.
No,
Dumbass.
no, no. Moving along, iced mocha
That's another one.
Ice mocha.
and ceramic pearl.
Oh, fuck off! It's not your grandmother's ceramic
Nope.
pearl.
No,
Not even mother
No.
of pearl. Not even an inlay.
you people are going to hell. Y'all need Jesus.
Oh, whatever.
There's also black velvet, Rhapsody blue.
There's a lot of
Infinite
colors.
black
They're only
metallic.
making
I know.
80 of them. Are there
I know.
80 colors?
One of each color.
One of each.
One of
huh?
each.
Right. Good job. Good.
At
job.
$100,000, I would just say, just go to Ford. I'll buy them all. If you had $1 billion, just buy them all. Put them in a shop somewhere.
I
That
wanna
seems-
drive
that
mine.
seems wasteful,
I
right?
wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drive everything.
It's a bigger version of your Fusion. It's lovely. Oh, by the
I'll
way,
drive
he's
it the same amount that I'll drive that. How's that
not
sound?
at all. Twice a year. To
We could put
Cali.
your doors on backwards and you'd have one.
That's all I'm asking.
That's
I
all
like
I
the
know.
color of my car.
Where's that? Oh, horseshit. Okay, whose story is it?
Well,
It's yours.
in unrelated news entirely, for the third year in a row, a California lawmaker is trying to keep bars open until 4 a.m.
God bless
Yeah.
it.
What is
God,
wrong with
why?
it? There's nothing wrong there.
Alcohol enthusiast and unfortunately named State Senator Scott Wiener is reintroducing legislation that would allow Los Angeles, San Francisco, and 7 other cities to extend the sale of alcohol in bars, clubs, and restaurants by an additional 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Dumb.
I
think
mean,
this is
that's
awful.
That's how I live my life.
Right, but New York's a whole different animal.
Oh, even,
But it's a
For
good
those of you
animal.
but it
unknown,
would be so confusing because like Niagara County would be 2 on weekdays, 3 on weekends, and then
Yeah.
Erie County would be 3 on weekdays, 4 on weekends. You didn't like cross the county line, go drink. Makes it sound like
Yeah.
we were real rural, like we knew where the fucking county line was.
Well, he says, here's his pro argument. Nightlife brings people together, fosters creativity and innovation, supports small businesses, and creates middle-class jobs. It's time to
Okay.
embrace our nighttime economy and give our cities the tools they need to foster the best nightlife possible.
I love the nightlife. I love
Yeah,
the
I
boogie.
do.
I love
love
to
the
boogie.
boogie, yeah.
On the disco
Disco
rock.
rock. Yeah.
I was hoping for a sing along.
You're welcome.
We're sorry.
Well, last year, Governor Jerry Brown vetoed a similar bill by Wiener, writing, "I believe we have enough mischief from midnight to 2 without adding 2 more hours of mayhem." It's
Mayhem.
It's fucking
It's
mayhem.
that guy. It's the mayhem guy.
Oh, it's totally the Allstate guy. It's
Yeah.
his
Oh,
fault.
that's
It's his
it.
fault.
That freaking guy. You watch a lot of commercials.
Bastard.
I'm in a hotel.
You
a
should
lot.
get a DVR.
I'm in a hotel a lot.
I'll
I
share,
was alone.
I'll share my Netflix
Yeah,
password
yeah.
with you. It'll be good.
It'll be good.
You're welcome.
Oh, I got a gift package from Kat in the email.
Feces.
I'm sorry. I'm hearing
Feces.
from our producers. This is cut. No, this whole thing's being cut.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to
We're
back
gonna
up and
edit
start
that
again.
And post.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. There's that.
Uncle, my dad wants to add that he knew where the county lines were.
Oh, see, someone did.
Look at him
Look at that.
participating.
I know the
Look,
callers
thanks,
at home.
Dad.
The callers
Wow.
at home.
And you said you didn't want
Long
to be
time,
part of the
first time
show.
over here.
No,
Yeah.
that was Mom.
Whichever.
Oh, I got.
All of
Wait,
them.
what is it
Wait,
she
Grand-
said? What
Is
is
Grand
it?
Island Erie County?
It is.
Then I know where the line is.
Yes, you do. But do you
Well, did
have-
somebody say you didn't?
Me? I said I didn't. It's got to be on that fucking bridge. Somewhere between Niagara Falls and that
And Grand
fucking
Island,
bridge has
yeah.
got to be a line.
Oh my
The
god.
next time I go, I'm going to inspect for the line. I'm going to look.
Look.
Is this it?
Take a can
Is
of
this
paint.
it?
Oh my god.
Is it here?
Is it here?
Is it here? You take one step. Is that?
Is that it?
Am
Am
I-
I there?
Am I there? Did we do it? Did we
Can I
win?
have 1 foot in each county?
Oh my god.
I've gone too far.
Yeah.
A bridge too far.
All right, the end. Read a
That
story.
fucking
I got
bridge.
nothing.
I don't have any more.
I'm against it.
Because the story that I had prepared, I don't believe it.
I understand.
Well, why? What's wrong?
We'll bring it
It's
to
about a
council.
man sniffing his socks every day and the spores going to his lungs and now he's got an infection. And I said, horse shit.
So
I
no,
believe
hang
it.
on. Did he have poor foot hygiene?
I'm assuming he's a man.
I'm right.
Wait, you're
Yes.
assuming he's a man, or you're assuming yes because he's a man?
Every time I see a man walk into the place to get a pedicure, I'm like, oh my god.
And then I feel bad for
Bring,
those poor
bring
people.
your friends. Bring your friends.
Those poor people that have to shave his hooves down. Ugh. Just
Okay.
cover them. Just cover them.
Oh,
Have a
you should-
story.
Hi,
There's
Eric
nothing
from LA.
grosser than people's feet in the hospital.
All right, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to another story. And Mike,
And there's a lot of competition for the grossest thing in the hospital. But people's feet.
what's your top 5? Give me a top 5, can you?
Top 5 grossest things in the hospital.
Feet.
Go, feet.
Feet.
Nail fungus.
Ugh.
Scaly crocodile skin that did not come from the drug.
That's 3. We got. What's your top 2? Or are they? Oh wait, no. Are those in order, or are these just a random?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
So snot 2. What's 1? What's 1?
The feet.
Shit.
Oh,
No.
feet.
No.
So what's 5?
No.
You're at 4. So
Yeah,
what rounds up your
it-
top 5 here?
If you hook suction to the poop to make it go up into the wall suction.
Just watch it go
they're,
through.
Because they're pooping so much, you have to like suck it out
Suck it
into
away,
a canister so it doesn't go on the floor. That's pretty nasty.
That is pretty gross.
Moving
And
on.
I just sit there eating a bean burrito watching it like, it happens.
I watch a beef burrito.
I
Goes
can
the shit
relate
up the wall.
because we have to. The airplanes have full bathrooms in them. And
Yeah.
I can relate because we get the turd hearse out when we get home and drain the thing and
Oh,
freshen
yeah,
it
that's
up for
gotta
the
go
next flight,
somewhere.
and you get to watch it go down the clear tube. And
Right. They don't just dump it over Nova Scotia. That shit's
Yeah.
got to go somewhere.
Corn. When did I eat corn?
Where did I?
Oh my
It's the last time I get that.
Dear
catering for 'em.
diary, why is there corn?
Was it solid or liquid? I think it started out as solid, but now I'm not so sure.
That's where that comes from. Yes.
This is
There's-
quality
That took a
entertainment
turn.
we're doing here.
Yeah.
Well, a story that Mike's familiar with because it actually was made headlines in Missouri. A Missouri poacher has been ordered to repeatedly watch the movie Bambi as part of his sentence for illegally killing hundreds of deer. The Springfield News Leader reports that David Barry Jr. was ordered to watch the Walt Disney movie at least once a month during his year-long jail sentence in what conservation agents are calling one of the largest deer poaching cases in state history. This, and I didn't read the story earlier, but he told me a little bit more about it. Prosecutors say the deer were killed only for their heads and not for the bodies or the meat. So what he did is he just killed them,
Oh, what did we watch? Oh, yeah.
cut the heads off, and left the deers
The
there.
dogs.
Barry was convicted in southwest Missouri's Lawrence County of illegally taking wildlife. 3 relatives and another man were also caught in the connection to the poaching case. They've each paid $51,000 in fines and court costs. Barry was also sentenced to 120 days in jail in nearby Barton County for a firearms probation violation. But he is going to be in jail and has to watch Bambi once a month.
That movie should be rated R. That is
It's-
so disturbing.
Yeah, and I've never actually watched it. I know the gist of it, but I've actually never seen Bambi.
Oh, the
Wait, you
the
want to
opening.
rate Bambi R?
The opening is scarier than Jaws. That opening scene with the murder of the mother. Spoiler alert: she's dead.
God damn it, Al.
It's a Disney movie.
they're-
From
He
they're
just
all,
said he never watched it.
all the mothers.
I don't know how to do
All the mothers in all the Disney movies are
How
dead.
does-
Listen, they
does
fling,
Dumbo
they
turn
fling Mufasa
Oh,
off a cliff.
Dumbo will put you-
Dumbo's way more disturbing than
Oh
Bambi.
my God, that'll put you in a spin that'll kill you.
Yeah, I've got to see
Yeah.
that one too. I have to see the
In a
original.
twist of irony, that was my favorite childhood movie was Dumbo. Can't imagine why I became fucked up. Yeah. Oh, that's awful.
I know,
I
my
can't
God,
watch
this-
it now.
that is the saddest
Yeah.
song in the entire world.
I feel like I just didn't connect with emotions.
I
when was
always,
a
I may
child.
be wrong, but I always feel that when I hear the song "Don't Cry Out Loud," I always think of Dumbo, because it's all about the day the circus came to town and all that was left was glitter, some sawdust and some glitter.
some
I always,
clowns.
yeah, dun, 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 dun. I always think of Dumbo when I hear that song. I
Oh
don't
no,
know why.
the song from well, that's a song for somebody that desperately needs therapy. That don't cry out loud. You should maybe get some help.
Don't keep it inside.
Yeah, leave it inside of you. Let it till you become a shooter.
Have you been to Vegas?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that was
know,
unfortunate.
Bish,
I'm
I
terribly
know.
sorry about that.
Too soon.
Oh,
I'm hearing from my producers. Yep, this is gonna be cut.
Exactly. So when we were gonna get corporate sponsors, that ended.
Just in the NFL has pulled out a
Yeah.
sponsorship.
Exactly.
Surprisingly.
but if we beat the shit out of a woman, the NFL will be right back in. They'll be fine. They'll
Yeah,
be,
but I'm gonna fight back, so they're out.
Oh, you're
yeah.
gonna fight back. Wow,
Kick
look
your
at you.
fucking
I
ass. Don't
I
think I
appreciate the
won't. I'll
fight back
beat
though,
the
Ken. I
crap
think
out
That
of
that's
didn't fit their advertising profile.
no, it does
If you
not
fight
at
back.
all. It's all right.
Right
We'll
in
figure
the
that.
throat.
Finally, our last story. This one I thought I was hoping Marnie would be here for this, but I'm not saving it.
She's
Um,
never coming.
Yeah, she'll be here in a minute.
Is she real anymore?
A curious cat named Baloo was mistakenly shipped over 700 miles away from his home in Nova Scotia, Canada, after crawling into a parcel destined for Alberta, Canada.
Oh no, Baloo.
The tabby's owner, Jacqueline Lake, told Canadian TV News that the mischievous 1-year-old cat had secretly sneaked into the bottom of a package containing some tire rims. The day after the parcel had been sent, she began searching for the missing family pet. She says, quote, "We knocked door to door. We searched the woods. We searched under decks and
But
garages.
did you check Alberta?
We looked under steps, and
She did not consent to the search.
Exactly.
he was gone," she said. Baloo was later discovered by a delivery driver in Montreal 17 hours into his cross-country road trip. A local SPCA shelter manager managed to track down the feline stowaway owner based on the parcel's tracking code. Baloo was returned to his family safe and sound on Saturday evening.
I've got like
That's why you
4
always-
questions. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go.
Oh, I just asked why you always put a postage code on your cats. That's
It is important.
No, you chip them. Like that's how they.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they put a little microchip in there. My cat's not chipped. He's fucked if
Is
he decides to
is
stow it.
is lead cartographer Meow Cal in the
In the chat room, I
room?
haven't seen him.
I
but
have
it
not
could be-
seen him either.
He
But
could
what
be
do we
on
need?
stealth
because
mode.
you said it went from Nova Scotia to Alberta, but then the cat was found in Montreal.
I don't know. Well,
Maybe it was the. You
But
we
put
don't
us-
know how maps work
but
either.
remember the way.
I do, but Montreal is way
But
over
wait,
here, and
but
Alberta's
in,
way over
in
here.
fairness, the way Federal Express works, if you've got something that's going cross country and it's not local, it goes all the way to Memphis, Tennessee. It's resorted and then shipped out.
Oh, and then you spend like 5 years on that island with Wilson, and then is that right?
I don't know how any of this works. I don't fucking know. But no, everything would go to a central hub. It's sorted out and then shipped back out. So there's a chance that it wound up in a central hub before it was on its way to was it Alberta where it was going? I think.
Dear
So it could have got
Google.
intercepted. Marissa,
No, but
feel
did
free to
somebody
chime
go-
in at any time.
Alberta's
Did
like
that sound like a cat?
Alberta's
learning.
above the Dakotas, and
What is
Montreal.
this?
I'm bringing.
What is
I'm,
this?
it's, right.
Further
over there.
North Dakota?
Okay, Nova
What is
Scotia
that?
direction.
Hang
Extra
on.
north.
I think
And
Alberta
there is a-
literally
Let's
is
go to
further
our
North
map. Let's
Dakota.
go to our map. Now, what do we got? Not here.
Wait, yeah.
But in all like Nova Scotia is on the other side of Maine, to the right of Maine.
Yeah, up and,
Alberta's
up and to
above the
right.
Dakotas because there's a Katie Lang statue somewhere in that we can't see in that.
Don't forget, Southern Ontario, good enough because maps are hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when you're in the Southern Ontario, if you just like go a little bit to the right, you'll end up in Montreal. Right? Montreal's closer than Quebec to Niagara Falls, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the cat jumped in the truck, went to some sort of a station in Montreal, and is currently in Montreal, and was destined for
Was rejoined with
Alberta.
his
Oh,
family.
they stopped the pussy before it could get
Right.
all the way
Before it
to
could
the
spread.
Alberta.
as you
It
should.
was not trick pussy.
Maybe
Stop.
they were looking for the Katie Lang statue.
Stop the trick pussy before it gets to Alberta. That's
Did you mean Linda Ronstadt?
the name of my first.
I
That,
see.
that came up in conversation again yesterday.
Oh, did it?
Because we were talking about Lisa Bonet and what kind of wizardry and voodoo is she doing that she slept with Lenny
Lenny
Kravitz,
Kravitz.
and Jason Momoa. Like-
Oh, I didn't know about the. Wait,
Uh-huh.
wait a
They're
minute.
married. They have
They
two kids.
are?
They
They
have
have-
2 kids.
Where have I been since the Cosby Show was on?
Not with her.
No shit.
Yeah.
Or
It's a high-
Jason
It's
Momoa.
a high bar.
Yeah, that really is. There's a lot. Wow, I did not realize. I don't pay attention like Al does to entertainment stuff.
These
So
things happen.
Lisa Bonet she's tiny compared. He's ginormous.
He's not that tall though. But
Oh
he's
really?
A big, he's a big
Oh
boy.
well, on film he's bigger.
He's very healthy.
Oh.
I feel like we don't need to go through the logistics of this. Is there?
What does that even mean? Wait, what does that even mean? He's not.
I feel like we all took middle school health
not
class.
that-
We know how this works. I don't-
He's properly proportioned. Does that help you?
I don't know. What is that?
Well, it doesn't help that in Game of Thrones, Emilia Clarke, what's her name?
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Where
Emilia.
are my dragons? Yeah, her. She's teeny, teeny, tiny. So he really looks gigantic next to her because she's about 5 foot nothing.
Right.
Like Marissa would look like a giant next to her. She's tiny.
That'd be really fun for you.
Yeah, first time in my life.
That's how I imagine giants just walk through life. Just
Well, all right. Well, I think we've beat all that up as much as we can possibly
That was
do.
awful. I
I,
can't
no,
believe
I
it
thought it was
I'll take a
great.
couple more minutes with Jason Momoa. Hold on.
I think it was wonderful. So let's do this. Come on, Al.
All right, so we have a Death Den, we have a reboot, we've got the Screen Actors Guild Awards, we have a movie review that you can see at home because of the new rules of the Venice Film Festival, and then been 7 years, and I still can't find where I hide the rest of this. We're going to talk about a little bit about the marvelous Mrs. Maisel, even though she already peed on that parade.
We can talk about it again.
And
Who
then
cares?
everybody should be getting ready for Schitt's Creek holiday special tonight
Oh
or
my
tomorrow.
God! It's this week.
One more
Yes.
sleep, and then we're going to talk about my nervous breakdown over a book.
Oh my gosh! Well, all that if
That's
that's
the
not-
closest
if
I've
that
ever come
doesn't-
to
if
hitting
that
that.
doesn't bring you back to hour 3, nothing will. We'll be right back after this.
David, what does burning smell like?
You're listening to Q Talk America.
Montreal is above Watertown, New York. Yeah. Right. I can sleep. I can sleep on the floor. My friend Janessa loves calling. Right.
Guess what, kids? We're back. It's the beginning. It's hour 3, kinda 2.5.
7.5.
Whatever.
Hey, we're ahead of schedule.
We're gonna work it out. We'll make magic
Take
happen.
the win. I'm not even
It is the show on a Tuesday night. It's our final show of what is this? 2018? Yeah.
Still, yeah.
We'll go with that. It's our final show, and
12 months.
if you're wondering, my cousin Mike left. He had to go back to the hotel because that's what he has to do.
Because it was confusing the listeners to know that the stunt double was also here.
He actually has to fly the plane tomorrow morning. Marissa simply just has to get on a plane and can sleep for the entire ride. So differences in flights right there tomorrow. So anywho, we've had a great time thus far. So I can't imagine how the rest of the show won't be just as fun. But before we do Al Perkins and his entertainment, I want to share an email with you. We, for those of you who listen on the repeat, the 24/7 feed where it plays segments and segments of the show.
Who doesn't?
And really, who doesn't?
Do we have some kind of a ruling on torture? Because I feel that's up there with waterboarding.
I'm hearing from the judges.
So
they'll allow it.
Okay.
Patriot Act.
A couple weeks ago, I changed. There was between each segment of the show, because we break it up to try to break up the monotony of the show. What we do is I have a little, like a 60-second little thing that says, "Hey, how are you?" Blah blah blah, and I actually put a thing on that says, "Curious, who's listening? Who's out there? Where are you from? How'd you find us?" And all this. So I said, send an email to, and by the way, if you're listening right now, send an email to info@claytonmckee.com, and it'll come right to us, and we can then let you know or read your stuff on the air. So I got an email, and here there's 2 emails. So let me read the first one from the same person. Hi guys, I'm Pashka. Love your show. I'm listening from Russia. Found your podcast on this beautiful site, onlineradiobox.com, not a long time ago. I'm learning English and love to listen to something most of the time, but your podcast became my favorite so fast. Love your stories. You're awesome and hot. Wink. In parentheses.
Hey.
Your hot characters. You make my days, guys. Love Pashka. So I responded.
Well, isn't that sweet?
I responded
Pashka
back.
has a crush on me.
I responded back to Pashka and I said, "Hey, Pashka, do you have a picture?" Because I looked him up on the Facebooks. I couldn't find him. So Pashka sent a picture back. This is Pashka. Now I think it's funny that Pashka,
Hello, Pashka.
not only the cat, but he has a Texas sweatshirt on, which I think is kind of cool.
I like his glasses.
So
Yeah, me too.
So he sent an email back. It says, "Hello, Clayton. This is awesome. Hope you get lots of other emails. I'll do my best to catch the show live if I can. By the way, my real name is Ilya, I-L-I-A. It's just a struggle to pronounce, so I introduced myself as Pashka. Now, I think Ilya and Pashka are just as easy to say. I don't know
Yeah.
which one to. And then it says,
Maybe it's the vodka.
"Isn't this an?" It says, "Isn't
We
this
shall
a-
not blame vodka.
Isn't this an awesome name? And whose cat is this?" So many questions. Love, Ilya. So that is Pashka or Ilya with his cat.
Look at that skin.
Yeah, look at his cat.
know, so
Well,
clear and
look
even.
how the cat poses for any picture.
Cat's
there's
got
a
a better
cat?
smile.
Oh.
Right
there
there,
it is.
yes. But I think it's cool. So Pashka, Ilya, however you self-identify, I am thrilled that you emailed us. I'm glad that you listened and found us on that website. So
I am a little concerned that there's some split personality happening here. Is Pashka and Ilya like the cat and the guy, and they like interchange
Don't know.
personalities? I don't know what's happening.
if you've
right
listened to the show,
I'm
you know
very
other
concerned.
things about split personalities too, apparently. So that's how we go.
Clayton, can you retell the
What?
email, because you have Joe looking to know what the email is to email
Oh,
it.
ClaytonMcKee.com or
Oh,
Q-Tech?
info at ClaytonMcKee.com. So if you send an email, Joe, you can just text me. I mean, you know me. It's not Russian collusion, Jenny, but I when I realized it was from Russia, it was the funniest thing. I'm like, what? No.
No, this just in collusion, not a crime.
Not a crime. No. And if it is, it's civil. And if it was, it wasn't our money. And if it was our money, it was fine. It wasn't enough.
And we stopped
He
it
didn't
before.
do it, but if he did, it wouldn't be wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
And we
He
stopped
did it, but it's not wrong.
It's
and-
not wrong.
and
He
we
had
s-
it coming anyways.
And we stopped it before the election.
He had it
He
coming
had
all
it
He had
coming.
it coming.
He had it coming.
You'd have been there
Yeah,
if
so
you'd
it's-
have heard it.
The email address is info at ClaytonMcKee.com. And now I will turn over the reins of this segment to the one and only Al Perkins.
Well, we'll start with Death Den because, I know, one of our absolute favorites has passed. And I think we've spent a lot of this show talking about Penny Marshall and my love of Laverne and Shirley.
A surprising amount, really. Let's go to the pie chart.
Is there a Venn diagram that shows the crossover?
And especially since I just got caught in that YouTube wormhole, or not wormhole, what was I call it? Sinkhole, rabbit hole, that thing. I don't know whose hole
It's an
I was
Alice in
in. I don't
Wonderland
know
There's a
the wrong
hole
questions.
involved. Who cares?
So, watching all those interviews with Penny Marshall and Cindy Williams about filming together and their friendship and like the things that went wrong on filming, the things that went right, like why, what happened with that last season and why they left. And if you get a chance, they were interviewed by, I think it was by the Emmy Awards, by the Television Academy.
Okay.
And there's just long interviews with them separately and together about, the comedy and how it started. And her brother was Gary Marshall, director, TV producer, TV writer, got her start. She was on The Odd Couple. She was a
Happy
day player,
Days.
like on like 17,000 shows. And then finally they needed a couple. They needed two girls for Richie and Fonzie to date, and they brought those two on, and they were popular, and they gave them their own TV show, or they had the TV show and they didn't know how to get them in, so they brought them through Happy Days.
Right.
It was one or the other.
Potato,
But so
potato.
did Mork and Mindy too.
Mork and
How did
Mindy
that
too.
happen?
Yeah.
Somehow Mork and Mindy went through the 50s, but and then an incredible career of directing. She had Oscar nomination for Best Picture for The Awakening, or Awakenings with Robert De Niro. So she is on the short list of women whose movies were nominated for Best Picture, but she was snubbed for a Best Director nomination. She is the first woman to direct a movie that made $100 million, which was big.
Wow.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
And then adding to her list of absolute treasures is A League of Their Own. This used to be my playground. One of the funniest, best movies. And if you don't understand the importance of letterboxing in a movie and why you need to see the bars, that is the movie, because you lose so much of that movie
Going on
and
the
so
sides.
much of how well directed that is. because it cuts off. So the part like where Rosie throws the 2 baseballs, that's a real shot. But because of pan and scan, they have to do it and it looks like it's cut. You have to see
Right.
like the whole wide shot to know that she threw 2 baseballs
And
at
they
the same
caught 'em.
time with one hand and they were caught. But and just a great career, a great person. And anyway, however you get to Penny Marshall, Rosie O'Donnell's stand-up act from the 90s where she talks about the fact that she had a little bit better career because of Penny Marshall and she was the only person that understood her on the set. Don't the girls want to be in the movie? You come out here, you can throw the baseball. Do you want to be in a movie with Madonna?
And Penny made fun of herself with that
Yeah,
too.
because she
realized
had the heavy, I think it's Brooklyn or Queen, the Brooklyn accent. And just the fact that she got more and more mumbly as she got older, and the fact that the only person that would stand up was Rosie O'Donnell because the only one that understood her and knew what she was asking them to do.
And I didn't know. I had to find out from my mom because I just got the headline on my phone. I had no idea she was diabetic, and she died from complications of diabetes.
She
I had
just got
no idea.
over lung cancer.
Oh gosh, I didn't know that either.
Uh-huh.
She's clearly one of those celebrities who never let anything out. She never told anybody what was going on because I'd never heard this.
She in the 70s, she wasn't perky. It was the years of Sally Field and the Flying Nun, she once said. And when she booked a 1970s TV commercial for Head and Shoulder shampoo, she played the plain Jane opposite Farrah Fawcett's bubbly blonde.
Oh,
we have got to find that commercial. That's got to be great.
Let me see if I can find that.
So she appeared as Oscar Madison's secretary on The Odd Couple. Oh, I didn't know she was on there for 2 years.
I didn't know that.
Oh, in 2007, TV Land announced they would reunite for a new series of buddy comedy called Penny and Cindy, but the project never got off the ground. Her featured directorial film debut was Jumpin' Jack Flash with Whoopi Goldberg. Rob Reiner was her first husband. Her daughter, Tracy,
They're married
is
10
Betty.
years. They were
Yeah.
married 10 years.
And their daughter, Tracy, is Betty Spaghetti from A League of Their Own, the one whose husband dies in the war. Sorry, spoiler alert. Renaissance
Damn
Man.
it, Al! It's been 30 years. I don't know what happens at the end of that movie.
She did The Preacher's Wife with Whitney Houston. That kind of was the nail in the coffin of Whitney Houston's acting career because Penny Marshall was not putting up with her shit of not showing up to act to the movie sets on time. And she did one little charmer called Riding in Cars with Boys, and that I absolutely loved.
Oh, that is
She
a good
produced
movie.
Ron Howard's Cinderella Man, and just a funny one. But if you get a chance to watch any of those videos with her and Cindy Williams talking about their years on the set and their friendship and like going to Paris for the first time and just being like, even though they had money and they were successful, they were still like just 2 scrubbed rubes going to Paris and just everything was too shiny and too pretty and they really thought they shouldn't be allowed in anywhere. And they're just charming stories. Or if you get to see that Rosie O'Donnell thing where she imitates her directing.
I found the commercial. I will play. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
I'll play it, but I had to change the shot right quick to do it. So go ahead and I'll pull up this commercial.
So even though Queer as Folk just did its, I think it was its 20th anniversary that they just celebrated of when the show came on.
I just saw that. Yeah.
They are now, Bravo has decided to reboot it. I know everything's got to come back.
God damn it.
And now for the third incarnation, and whether or not they follow, because it's based on the British series,
right?
That every time the one guy from Game of Thrones, Littlefinger, I always, because he plays the evil guys all the time, and he's the douchebag Brian in the original Queer as Folk, but he's from Trainspotting, like he's in all these great things, and like, who is that guy again? Because I don't like the British Queer as Folk as much. I think it's terrible because they.
No, it was wonderful in Pittsburgh though.
Yeah, it was really good in Pittsburgh, and the problem with my big problem with the British version is when the young kid kills himself. And in the American version, at the part where he would go off and kill himself, they start playing Let's Hear It for the Boy, and he takes off his shirt and he goes out on the dance floor and he dances, and everybody's like, oh no, like you're hot, you're 20,
right. You've
got a best friend and a mom that loves you, you're gonna be fine.
Right.
Like I really liked that storyline so much better than the kid killing himself. That just annoyed me.
It's always better.
Who wants to watch that? Let's see. So, for your movie enjoyment, it's available on Netflix because it was made as a feature film. Netflix bought the rights. There was an argument about the Venice Film Festival and whether or not they would show movies that were destined for streaming at a film festival. So everyone agreed to have the movie play for a week or so in theaters to get them into film festivals, and it's Roma. And Alfonso Cuarón, that gave us Y tu mamá también, and Of Children of Men, Gravity. It's the story of his childhood in Mexico City, in black and white. It's kind of about the caretaker, the maid that they grew up with.
Okay.
Really like simple movie about in black and white about this family going through the separation of the parents and the story of the housekeeper, caretaker. Very simply told, beautifully shot, absolutely gorgeous. And what starts off as like a simple like day in the life of this maid turns into this emotionally gripping,
Oh my gosh.
harrowing story of a woman in trouble is a temporary thing, trying to find her lost love, and like the family trying to like shed the father, and it was really, really well done.
I have the Farrah Fawcett Penny Marshall commercial. Let's show that right quick so we can go with that.
Lucy, let me borrow your shampoo. What a roommate. Can't you ever buy your own stuff? Well, Lucy, I'm not exactly dressed to go to the store right now. How convenient. Head and Shoulders. I know it really works against your dandruff, but what about my gorgeous hair?
Your gorgeous
what a
hair
bitch.
will love it. You know, it is the best-selling shampoo in America.
Best-selling dandruff shampoo, you mean?
Best-selling shampoo of any kind. Because it hates your dandruff, but it also loves your hair. I use it regularly.
Well, smells okay. Some kind of lather, too. Know what I think?
You think you look adorable.
Not just that, hon. I think your shampoo did a terrific sexy number on my hair. I love it.
I'm glad. Now you could buy the Head and Shoulders. We're out.
Okay, can I borrow some money?
Head and Shoulders.
Hit her.
Hates your dandruff.
Wow.
Loves your hair.
And now they're both gone.
See you next Tuesday to that roommate.
Right, exactly.
For real.
A real
Summer-
big see you
this
next
bitch.
Tuesday.
So Marissa, what are you gonna say about the movie?
Oh, I just cried the whole time.
Yeah.
Tears of joy, tears of sadness.
Yeah.
All of the tears.
All the crying.
All of the tears, all in
The
one.
ugly, snotty.
Oh.
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
a big fan of that kind of crying.
And it really was one of those movies that were like, oh, we're just gonna watch a woman not clean up dog poop and turn off lights, and then it like just hits you with the wall because it's such
You
a
thought it was the Rosario story.
because it really is so like it starts off so simply of like just her day. There's one whole scene of her just turning off lights in the house, and it
I was going any minute now. She's gonna say, "Listen, lady."
Listen, lady. But it is so. I'm not sure with the controversy surrounding it if this is going to be how Netflix gets its Best Picture Oscar, but I think it's a lock for Best Foreign Language Film. Like I really don't think anybody's going to put out something with plus Alfonso Cuarón's kind of the darling of the Academy now. But absolutely, absolutely beautiful. Screen Actors Guild Award nominations. Let's see. We all have to start watching Killing Eve. That's our new obsession.
Yes,
let's
we
all
have
get
to.
on it.
Sandra Oh, let's do it right now.
Some fun ones. Starting performance by an female actor in a comedy series. Jane Fonda, Lily Tomlin, Alison Brie from Glow, Alex Bornstein from The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and Rachel Borshnahan from The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, because there's no...
Is that Mrs. Maisel?
There's no lead or supporting in the SAG Awards. It's just one
actress,
one person per. So, but in the actress category, and here's where we were expecting the woman from Roma, but she's not in this list. So that means her Oscar chances just slimmed down a little bit. She was on a nice roll of being nominated in a lot of other places. But Emily Blunt for Mary Poppins Returns, Glenn Close for The Wife, Melissa McCarthy, Can You Ever Forgive Me, Lady Gaga, Star is Born, and Olivia Colman, The Favorite. I would probably say, unless Roma really switches things up, those are your 5 for the Oscars too.
Okay.
Barry gets all the love again. Have you seen Barry yet on HBO? So funny. Male actor in a leading role, Christian Bale for Vice, Rami Malek for Bohemian Rhapsody, John David Washington Surprise for Black Klansman, Viggo Mortensen for Green Book, and Bradley Cooper for A Star is Born. The short list of best songs, they release like the top 9 that you can nominate 5 of for Best Original Song for the Oscars. Only one song from A Star is Born was on there. So Bradley Cooper is out of the best song running because only
I think Only Shallow
got
Yeah.
into the short list. The good news is for
Look
those
at
who are
me
going to
knowing my
watch,
shit.
yeah.
Aren't you proud?
The good news for me, having a nervous breakdown, is that Glenn Close looks like the favorite, so she might finally get her Oscar. And then in the supporting actress category, Amy Adams will finally win an Oscar too. So we may be fixing two great wrongs of the Academy. That Amy Adams will get her 6th nomination.
That would be lovely.
And her first win for Vice.
Let's do that.
Emma Stone for the favorite, Rachel Weisz for the favorite. They should split. Margot Robbie's surprise for Mary Queen of Scots. I'm dying to see that. Emily Blunt for A Quiet Place. So in case you weren't paying attention, Emily Blunt just went 2 for 2 for A Quiet Place and for Mary Poppins Returns. So she could add her.
Which that comes out like tomorrow, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And let me make sure. I know she has 1 Oscar nomination under her. She does not.
Emily Blunt?
Okay, I thought she was nominated for. When did she play? What's the movie where she plays Queen Victoria?
Oh.
I thought she was nominated for that because she was terrific. But she's always terrific.
She is terrific. I love Emily Blunt.
The Young Victoria. Turns out it was right in the title. No need to.
I'm
no
very
need to worry.
excited for her Mary Poppins. By the
Yeah,
way.
it looks super charming.
Yeah. And she's the right amount of like condescending to be Mary Poppins.
Yes.
Mary Poppins is a douche.
I've never seen.
She is. No, she's super
I've never
cunty
seen
and
the
like
movie.
judgy, and I love it.
I've never seen the original movie.
It's like an acid trip.
I've only seen scenes of it.
Okay, Mama
But-
Di, you were an abusive mother. This kid needs to have seen more movies.
But when
no
I,
Bambi,
but
no
when
Mary
but
Poppins. What
can
did
I
you
tell
do
my
with this
goddamn
childhood?
story?
No, we're very concerned for you.
So when they showed a clip of Mary Poppins, I'm like, well, God, she's snarky as hell. And then they
She's
interviewed
a
her, and they're
cunt.
like, okay, you are the character. And I'm like, oh, so because I had no idea that.
Practically perfect in every
I
way.
thought
every
she,
way.
I thought she was just a sticky, sweet like woman, but apparently she's just kind of snarky in the whole thing. I didn't
She's
realize
a
that.
little stuck on
She's
herself.
shitty to everybody.
I had no idea.
Shitty.
No idea.
That's a new take on Mary Poppins, but it is an acid
I'm
trip.
here for it.
But there's a scene where they all laugh and it makes them like fly. That's just a delight.
Oh, with the bubbles and the giggles. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's
That
fun.
is super cute.
So, outstanding performance by a cast in a motion picture. And remember, we have learned the last 3 years that if you did not get nominated in this category at the SAGs, you are not going to win Best Picture. La La Land. Dear La La Land. So, A Star is Born makes
Moonlight
the cut.
won.
Black Klansman makes the cut. Bohemian Rhapsody, in a big surprise, gets a Best Cast, considering that that is really a movie about one person.
Right.
So the fact that that showed up was kind of surprising. Black Panther and Crazy Rich Asians sneaks in one of my favorite movies of the year. Ensemble in a comedy series, Barry, Atlanta, Glow, The Kaminsky Method, which I have not seen yet, and The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Ensemble in a drama series, Better Call Saul, Ozark, The Handmaid's Tale, The Americans, and This Is Us, emotional porn. And then the usual suspects, like Darren Criss is going to win everything, and Amy Adams will probably win 2 SAG awards because she's up for Sharp Objects as well, and the competition's none too stiff. So there you go. There's your SAG awards, the second most important award show of the year. We'll get to the last part, and then we're done. Schitt's Creek tomorrow night on Pop. However
Cancel all
you
your
find
plans.
it, cancel all your plans. It's the holiday special.
Tell your mom
David
you're
is
not coming
back.
over for dinner.
He doesn't know that I love him yet, but he will very, very soon.
I wrote him a letter. He's about to get it. Any
Which
day now.
one?
David.
Dan Levy?
David.
David.
Dan Levy.
No.
Oh.
Talked about that. We talked The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Just
We can't talk about it enough.
get on it. Costumes,
So good.
costumes,
So good.
costumes.
Yeah.
Just breathtaking. And the fact that they talk about they go on a trip with those costumes and how funny it is that they acknowledge, because no one ever acknowledges. Like there's a whole Bond movie. What's that terrible? The last one. The
Got nothing. Spectre.
Spectre.
You're welcome.
The very last
at
one
you.
where Bond is in all these suits, but he never travels with any luggage. Like, how did he show up with that suit? This movie, they're in ridiculous clothes, but when it comes time to pack, they have to clean out a bedroom and like put up racks.
No, they moved it into the living room.
Yeah, they
They took over the living room.
did.
They already have a bedroom designated to closetry in this gorgeous apartment that no one could ever afford, ever. And apparently is owned by the university. It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing,
Right.
yeah. You have to watch to find out. But the absolute best is when
The miniature with the suitcases
miniature
to
you
scale,
Not a
and
toy.
this is how it goes in. Can't. I can't.
Yes.
That was absolutely delightful. But when he tells him, he's like, you're gonna need a lot of closet space. Oh, I've seen the hats. Like, that was one of those throwaway jokes lines that was just perfect.
Yeah.
I've seen the hats.
That's very Amy Palladino, though. That's
Yeah.
very that
So
genre
charming,
of that
so
witty,
funny.
snappy.
And when the singer, after she does that big long speech, she's like, with that breath control, you could be a singer, because that one speech she gives is just like, who talks that fast?
Yeah.
So there's that. Just terrific television, and thank God for The Hangover, because it resulted in us being able to watch the entire season. And one day, and we were both oohing and ahhing about those costumes.
Yeah.
Just
We both needed closets full of them.
yeah. Every single thing. And I like, but she always wears the same black cocktail dress with pearls
On
for the
stage,
end. So
right.
it made it very Joan Rivers.
Sure.
So question, is
Answer.
the artist that they meet to buy the paintings, is he a real person? Is he like Lenny Bruce, like it's a real person?
You know, I don't know.
Because I was really worried that was some pop culture reference that I wasn't getting. I thought about it the next day.
Yeah,
I'm
I thought about that too. I'm like, wait, is this somebody?
And the fact that they didn't show the piece of art that almost made Pollock
Which
stop
I love
painting.
that they didn't show it. No,
yeah.
no, because he said, if you paid attention, he said, I painted it for me. Like, it's not,
Right.
this isn't for you. This is for me. And this is about this wonderful life that I had. Like, I built it for this life that he, however he did Lost. Was Declan Howell a real artist?
Oh, he is. I know that name.
Well, so you should
Or
have
do
paid
I just
better
know it
attention.
because I was hungover and I heard that name like 5,000 times on that show?
Stand
Did
by.
I make it a real Grey's Anatomy
Stand by.
person?
I'm reading just as fast as I can. Character played. Seems likely to be inspired by abstractionist artists of the era, who gets, like Jackson Pollock, who gets name dropped. Declan tells about it. No, it looks like he's made up.
Okay. I was just worried that was some reference that I wasn't getting.
Right.
And then the last thing we'll talk about
That'd
is...
be hard. That's a really like specific
Right.
little storyline to make up about somebody that actually existed.
Yeah. But I mean, Lenny Bruce just filters in and out of there, so I thought maybe that was some like pop culture artist from the
Yeah.
time that would be interesting that she would know and have some little
The
secret
Lenny
about.
Bruce fiction is a lot more plausible, though. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Oh yeah.
'Cause
No,
they-
definitely. Absolutely.
Yeah, there's no really close friendship there. Like, they kind of made up the stuff about jail, but other than that, he's just sitting in a bar talking to somebody. Like,
Yeah,
who
good-
fucking knows who he talked
Right.
to? in
Right.
his
Right.
life,
And
you
it's just the right name to drop.
Yeah.
So the book we'll talk about that almost killed me, and I was halfway through when we met here last week. So the Something Like Autumn, the follow-up to Something Like Summer, is now one of my top 5 favorite books of all time, and easily my favorite character that's ever been in a book. I almost had a fucking nervous breakdown at the end of that book. So I don't know where, I know you had started it. I don't know where you ended
I
up.
just started it, and I keep reading, like, as I'm falling asleep.
Yeah.
This is a theme in my life. Apparently, I don't sleep enough. I just fall asleep to everything.
You have to be trapped somewhere in a rental house with the drunk person downstairs, so you can't leave.
That sounds lovely.
Yeah, that's.
Would
how
you like to go on a trip?
Yeah, that's how you read an entire book in a day, and then read the rest of it on an airplane ride. But beautifully done. Like how this author, and now I want to go on find a book signing with this author and find out of the 3 main characters from the first 2 books, like which one is him or which one is the person that he knew, because I feel like it's this Jace character.
Really?
And just so beautifully written. And I usually read with like music on or something, and as it got to the end, and because it's the same ending, the book ends in the book ends in the first book, so you know how the second, you know how everybody ends up.
Right.
It's just this, you'd have to go through the journey one more time. And as I got to the last 20 pages, I'm like, you know what? I need I need to respect how this book is gonna end, and say my goodbyes to this book, and and I just sat there quietly with my glass of wine and just sat there and cried, and was just a beautifully written character in this book that I really thought was gonna be like Twilight for gays, a piece of shit novel, or even worse, 50 Shades of crap. The fact that it was this well-written book that had so much to say about suicide and about Alzheimer's and about living on your own and making important life choices, and the people that you need to keep an eye on, and as these stories keep coming up with that Queer as Folk storyline of why, and it was me being why would you kill yourself?
Right.
You know what I mean? Who am I to tell somebody you're not having a bad day because you're cute and you're 20? You know what I mean? You can still have a bad day.
It's true.
It's not really right for me to tell somebody to get over. Look how you're gorgeous and you're 20. Shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? That's kind of.
I've
not
heard that a
listening to
lot.
someone.
I'm on the fence on this.
Is it?
Have you?
Yeah.
For you.
But you know what I mean? Like
30 years ago.
I like that you're pulling off 20.
But there is kind of a.
I didn't say it was current. I didn't say it was current. Not like now.
But you're always watching, you know, the lonely one, the, you know, with stupid ugly Irma. That's who you're worried about. You're
Irma, stupid ugly Irma.
Not someone we know in real life. That's not something we actually did to someone. So.
But I'm willing to.
But honestly, so if you get a chance to read these books, the first one is Something Like Summer. Some of the lists say something like autumn is second. A couple of the lists say something like winter is second.
Okay.
But it's about the same three guys. They're your main protagonists.
Right.
You just find out. So now I'm in a little period of mourning, and then I will start reading the third one to find out what happens to the boy in the blue tennis shoes. I can't remember what his real name was.
Mr. Blue Shoes.
Mr.
Right.
Blue Shoes. Yeah, the boy in the blue tennis shoes.
Oh, I clearly did retain some of that. Book.
Yeah. And it's just, I'm just surprised. It's something that I thought was going to be so cheesy and almost like kind of elevated porn. You know what I mean? I thought it was going to be like dirty,
right?
Kind of dirty reading. And there's like one or two love scenes, but there's nothing, nothing graphic, nothing inappropriate for something over, you know, like 14 and over is fine. But just
50 Shades
lovely
of
written. It was just so nice to
this.
like be surprised by a good book. I was not expecting that was supposed to be a summer read,
really
not
nice.
something that I was really touched by. So that's your gay reading for the year if you find yourself on a beach.
Got it. I'm gonna interrupt you for just a second because I know where you're going from here. Got it. Well, two things. One, a wellness check on you. Are you good? Can you stay? Are we good? Do you have to leave? Because I know I know you drove separately in case you had to peace out.
Right. No, I'm so good.
You're good. Okay.
In for the long haul.
And the other thing because I saw her that she tweeted it today. Today was the last day of filming for the Veep series. So today they were wrapping all that up.
Make Al cry again.
They were all wrapping that up. So Julia Louis-Dreyfus posted on the old Twitter that they're wrapping that pig
That's
up.
another character. I am going to be so sad to say goodbye to the Cloud Botherer and her, because that show, I mean, it hit, the Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt almost killed me 3 times in one episode.
That was a good time.
Choked on my cereal, choked on the water, then I choked on the tissue I was blowing my nose with. But
it's a hell of a day at sea, sir.
It was. I really thought I was going to die laughing. 2 turtle doves. I was finished. What are you going to do, go to the park and make friends with a bee? But that show, if you ever if you've never watched Veep, and they get to the part where they have to have a congressional hearing, and they just decide that they don't care anymore, that they just have to waste time. So all they do is talk about all the nicknames they have for, Jonah. Timothy, for Jonah. And they just cut away to every person listing all of his horrible nicknames. And one was the Cloud Botherer.
It's all right. I'm just laughing.
Don't joke.
That's all the said.
My first aid certification is not up to date. Don't joke. You're the only one of us that could save a life.
Oh my god. So I'm going to be heartbroken, and I hope they have like 44 episodes to finish them off. You know what I mean? Even though there's only 6 or 8 a season. And then I have to just break down and get the DVDs and see all the outtakes because it's all improv. Mm-hmm. So I just want to see
that's going to be a wonderful year in your life to watch all that.
How many times they went through with all those nicknames. And then there's the one walking scene where oh God, what's his name? I'm even friends with him on Facebook. Timothy, whatever his name is. And they're walking down the hallway and he's talking about how far away he is from the actual Oval Office. So he's like, I can't remember what he's like. He's like in the Pyongyang or there's some porn reference. It's just, I'm not going to do it any justice. But you can find it. Anyways, that's it for entertainment.
It really was hilarious.
It really was. I really sold that.
Knocked that one out of the park. It's like Penny Marshall was directing you.
Right?
This used to be my playground. I just want to tell you.
Used to be my pride and joy.
And that's one of those movies that if it comes on HBO, and even though I can like tape it and save it forever, I will call you and lie to you and say, oh my cat's sick. I have to stay home and watch the entire movie.
Sure.
I did want to share this with you because it was just posted recently on the Facebooks. I'm assuming that our dear friend, former cast member of this show, Buddy Early, I'm going to just go with he might be going for he was either in the hospital for a procedure or maybe just testing for something, but he posted this picture of who wore it better, him or
No.
Mrs. Roper in a moo or
It's a
a
horse race, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure which one, but
Unfortunately for Buddy, I'm going to go with Mrs. Roper.
No, she's got the necklace.
Right.
I mean, you
yeah,
got
like she's got the accessories.
And a joy. I mean,
she's
look at
got
the smile.
the smirky little.
Yeah, she is proud of that moo-moo.
and the little orphan
jaunty
Annie
little
hair.
smirk.
She got that too. Yeah.
Well,
Are
he
you?
was inquiring about 30-year-olds in sciatica, so I'm putting two and two together and assuming that he's having that treated somehow.
Because he certainly is in 30, so I guess the sciatica part's true.
Was it legitimately asking for a friend? I mean, because
That's what about 28 of the comments said. They were asking for a friend there, buddy.
there's that.
And he had a funny thing on his Facebook where he was talking about like how did we like. There's movies that you forget, like, oh god, that's uncomfortable. And he was talking about some scene in Revenge of the Nerds, and then somebody who's seen the movie a lot of times. I guess something horrible happens. Then I never liked it, so I don't remember it.
I've never
But
seen
I
it.
guess
I know that's
something-
surprising.
I remember I don't remember something that bad as what they were saying happening in it. And then somebody said in 16 Candles, and I forgot about it, that they pass off the drunk
They give-
girlfriend.
right, the drunk
and
girlfriend
it turns
to the
into a
nerd.
date rape scene, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I feel like we talked about that here.
16 candles.
I don't remember that at all.
Well, the vodka's not to blame.
No.
Never is.
Certainly not to blame.
So now I feel like there's so many movies from
we have to banish
the 80s that we have to go back and watch one more time and
Do
find
we?
out like
I don't know.
I
mean,
know.
I'm
I'm not a big fan of 80s films to begin with. Like, I feel like I'm
There's
just
a
in
lot
this
of them that
weird
were
age
just-
that I'm
just
just not quite old
boys
enough.
and dick jokes that I just was like,
Right.
must we?
Yeah.
Like I did not get the appeal of Porky's.
That's
That-
the whole Porky's franchise. That's the whole Revenge of the Nerds franchise.
Yeah.
Like, ugh,
Star Wars. I don't get it at all.
that's different. Super different.
I know.
I pretend to like that.
Porky's and Star Wars don't belong in the same sentence.
You can
Damn it,
sometimes
Clayton.
you can sometimes get a cute boy to go to the movies with you if you pretend to be interested in Star Wars.
Super true.
And I'm not above it.
Let's see if we can. Again, not above it again. That's
No.
where you go.
I never.
Let's see if we can pull shit out of a bag with this.
Play the thing.
Cal, come here we go. Two things is what she brings. Two things is what she's talking about. Two things, important little things. That is what she's spouting out.
You just need two things.
That means two things.
Let's get two things clear.
And then two things about yourself.
And I've come to share with you one of two things. No, two of two things. We're sharing two things right now.
There are only two things I can't stand in this world.
Quick, grab two things you love.
It can be two things.
Only two things in the world I'm scared of.
Rise of frazzled two things.
Remember two things.
I believe in two things.
Guys are only after two things.
What's better, doing two things at once or just one?
Never half-ass two things. Whole-ass one thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kat Carlson.
I'm going to do better than that. I'm going to half-ass one thing.
we have to stretch this all
I
out.
didn't even know
We do
there was
need
a
to
third
stretch
option
this
on
out a
the
little bit.
table.
I know.
We
Who
are
knew?
barely 2 hours and 15 minutes into a show.
I know. What happened here?
I don't know, but
How did
Marnie's,
we get so
I got
brief?
I got an update. Marnie's on her way. I swear to God, she's on her way.
That's hysterical.
It is.
She's got headlines to do. Catch her up with this week.
I don't know what she's gonna do.
She's
be
going
alone.
to fill this whole last hour for us.
What you got, Kat?
Plug
You
those
know-
missing holes, Marna.
We love a Sandy Bullock Day.
Oh, we do.
my
We do.
God.
And I am signing on to the Church of the Sandy Bullock Christmas.
Welcome.
What?
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah. Because here's why. Well, she was on whatever thing that Hoda's drinking on in the morning now on NBC or whatever.
Yeah.
She's on a morning show of
Oh,
some
we didn't
sort.
even talk about that.
Oh, yeah,
we'll
very
get back.
sad.
We'll
That's
come
our
back.
second thing. Look at that.
Look at that. Two things.
Look at what you did.
Feed me one, I'll eat both.
All right.
I don't know.
No.
That went wrong.
No.
Wow.
Well,
We don't eat corn.
like many of us, Christmas is a time to go big on all possible things: lights, presents, food, family, drinks, booze, men, whatever.
I like how you
But
threw men in there.
sure, for you.
The whole thing. Good.
It's about giving.
Trying to get you some.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wow. Where were you Saturday?
At Cobalt, I could have helped you then
No,
too.
you couldn't, because the guy I was looking for was not there.
Well, you should have brought him. You got to bring your own snacks
You gotta.
sometimes.
You got. Didn't we just learn how to put a chip in a cat? Can't this technology be used for humans?
That was funny. You gotta bring your own snacks. I enjoy that.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna put that on tape.
Well,
put a little catnip in your pocket.
Sure.
Sandra Bullock is, of course, no stranger to the excess of the holidays. It's been that way for many years. She
Yes.
told Hoda.
Hoda,
Yeah.
copy.
Good for her. Christmas, the Oscar-winning actress today said, is usually overdone at her house, like really, really overdone. She says, because I overdo it, and then I panic that I didn't do enough, so I do more.
Oh, wow.
Like you do.
Good Lord,
I've been there.
Yeah.
I'm probably still paying on the credit card for it.
All right.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Happens.
She says, and then I get more and more than everyone else, and it gets just way overdone. But not this year. Nay.
No. Mm-mm.
We have just stopped, she said. She says, there's so much happening in the world where people don't have anything. So she has told her 2 children, which are younger than I actually thought that they were. She has Lewis, who's 8, and Layla, who is 6. And she says, yeah, very small. I thought she would have older
She
children
adopted the
than that.
one right before she ditched the husband, and then they had one on they had a baby on the way when she ditched him.
In the mail.
Yeah.
In
one in return, UPS.
It's in Montreal right now.
It's on its way. Don't even ask where Alberta is.
Go through Alberta, then to Poughkeepsie.
Just a brief stay at Gander. I mean, it's a whole thing.
So Sandy says to her 2 children, her 8-year-old and her 6-year-old, she says, why don't we just make this holiday about other people? And she says the kids were really amazing about it. So Christmas in her house this year is 3 small gifts, which I think is very cool. And I've been trying to subscribe the people in my house into 4 small gifts, and they won't. Like, literally refuse, and I've just given up at this point. I'm like, I don't fucking care.
God damn it, when didn't this show start at 9:30?
You're right
Ladies
on
and
time for
gentlemen,
that start.
Marnie Ryer has arrived. And by the way, you've still got headlines to do, where you been, obsessions. You got a lot to do.
You got one thing left?
I'm on it. I've been practicing for hours.
All right.
We got time. We'll run through all the stingers again.
This is Marissa.
Yes.
Oh my! Can we do the 20-minute Marnie show after this?
Yeah.
We should just put her on
Let's
the cross.
just run through the stingers.
We can do that. So you wrap up your 2 things.
Yeah. So I ran across like 2 years ago, and it's very cute because it rhymes, and I like rhyming things, and I like alliteration. So I ran across this whole article on a very similar subject that said, you really only need 4 things. You need something you want, something you need, something to wear, and something to read.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it's cute. It's covers all the bases. It's enough, I feel like.
Oh, and I got the rhyme at the end. I now hear it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Want, not fucking rhyme.
Want, need, wear, read. Yeah, you got to wait for the end. Yeah, it's all about listening, Al. It's all about listening. So
Use
now
that in a sentence.
He wasn't talking. Why would he be listening?
Al's not fucking listening. Period. It's a sentence.
I get it now.
For once this year, Al wasn't talking. I don't know if this is breaking news or not, but for once.
This just in, Al's not talking.
Right, wow.
Updated 11.
A lull on Q Talk America. And now the cooking show.
But now I'm gonna try and resell this philosophy as the Sandy Bullock method.
No.
And I'm gonna see how that goes over. And then I'll bring in the credit card bill in January and see how that goes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good time to remind people about the importance of those 4 things is when the credit card bill comes in.
Yeah. See?
Yeah.
Instead of all of this crap that you fucking people decided to buy, we could have had these nice
You're
things.
awfully angry. I don't know why.
Yeah, right.
Poor people are angry,
Right.
Clayton.
Poor people are?
Poor people are angry.
Oh, they meant
Now,
4 people are. Like, who the 4 people are angry?
Now you're in a 4-person
Poor.
household.
I am in a 4-person
So
household.
do you each just get one thing for each other? Like you pick it out of the box and okay, I get.
So I'm in a 4-person household consisting of 2 children who don't do any of the shopping on their own.
So are we at 8 things or 16
no.
things?
So
or, how's my math?
everyone would get like 1 thing from each category.
Yeah. Okay. So right.
Right. So
So 16 gifts altogether for your family.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. So everyone gets 4 things. The end.
Do I have to make
There's
it
not
a
a lot-
theme? 4 things, 4 things.
No, that sounds.
4 things is what they buy.
That sounds awful. I barely bring 1 thing to the table.
Al should be disappointing us 3 times.
Our meeting in January is going to discuss that.
Is it? Are we gonna have a meeting? That's good. I'm busy that day.
I'll be late.
Yeah.
We actually did need.
I guess
Ouija
I'll
at the
take
meeting.
notes on the meeting because I
You
got
never,
wrapped up. Yeah.
you never do, so
No.
it doesn't matter.
We weren't. We were just going to take notes exactly and just send them to you.
Yeah. You don't do that either, so it doesn't matter. It's
It
okay.
also helps because I'm really terrible at Christmas. Like just today, Sharon was like, "I need some ideas for you because I have nothing." I'm like, I don't want anything. Like literally.
You don't.
Yeah.
You need anything? No.
Pay the power bill. I don't need anything.
You know what's weird though, and I don't know if it's just like a 51-year-old cycle that I always need socks and underwear around Christmas. Is that just because they were bought originally at Christmas time?
Right.
So they only have like a 362-day life cycle?
You subliminally just know that that's coming.
Because
You know what
there's
I mean?
like coffee down there,
right.
like all of a sudden gravity's effects on coffee.
Coffee
or like
on your
beer.
socks?
Sometimes.
You're doing this, but I know you meant here, right?
No, but it really, I have dribble marks. Like, it's awful.
Wear black shirts.
They stain too. I've already tried that.
Well, were I to get
But
you a Christmas gift, that's what I would
wholeheartedly endorse this.
The Sandy Bullock method is
Want, need, wear, read. That is.
Oh, we're still on that story.
Yeah,
I'm
that
sure.
really is great, and it keeps it because it just gets out of fucking
so
control.
much. Like the first couple of years with the kids, I was like, "Are you kidding me?
Right.
I don't make this much in a month. What did we just fucking do?"
Right.
Like
That's
honest to
what,
God.
that's what
and
that-
they're just
that,
gonna chew on the
Crazy
box.
Ex used to do. The Crazy Ex used to do that with her kids, where it was like a mortgage payment, easily, if not better,
Easily.
and like she would skip the mortgage payment.
Yeah.
And told me going
That
in.
seems like sensible.
No,
sensible
she
planning.
she
alone
told
every
me going
December.
into this, I don't pay the mortgage payment.
That's
I don't
smart.
do any of that.
Who needs
on-
housing when you can have the toy aisle from Target?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We could just live in the Barbie
Yeah.
dream house.
No. It was that fucking all-American Girl doll or some shit.
Oh, those things
It
were
was like
fucking
American
expensive,
Girl
too.
doll.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Those
right.
things
Oh, I worked
crazy
at a
expensive.
department store during the Cabbage Patch craze.
Oh,
Let me
God.
tell you, that was not pretty.
Yeah.
Nor were the dolls. Funny story.
Yeah.
No, isn't that?
Gross.
But yeah,
Funny story.
There should have been a telethon for those motherfuckers because they were ugly.
Stop it.
So, in that same show, Kathy Lee quit. I
Yep.
don't know if her
What?
plastic surgeon has just decided
That
he's
was a
done
lot.
enough.
Right?
But,
or can't do
yeah,
anymore.
exactly. I'm sorry. All of
I've
your
done
face is
everything
in the
I
back of
can.
your head under
Exactly.
that fall. But,
Joan
yeah.
Rivers is jealous.
Yeah, oh yeah, because she was like, no, that's too much.
We're
That's too
good.
far.
Stop.
I was like checking to make sure that like my TV was plugged in when I saw that thing. But no, so I guess in
I'm with
April
that.
she is going to say goodbye to the
10 years of being on with.
no,
It's a lot of
Toyota.
wine. It's a lot of
And,
wine.
and they were drunk and touching each other.
Oh.
I'm not going to judge,
So
but
I don't know. Have they announced
Sounds
she's
like
Keep
gonna
your
do a
lesbian
concert?
affairs at home, people.
I think they're going to reorganize because Megyn Kelly is definitely out. They're
Christ.
going to negotiate because
What a piece of
once
I
once
heard
we get
Santa
through
just is white.
Santa
Yeah.
just is white. Once we
That's what I
make sure
heard.
that Santa's white, then Megyn Kelly
just
can leave
is.
the room.
Yeah.
He just is.
It's a
Don't.
rumor.
it's okay. We may need a paper towel
Just a
here.
rumor.
Almost a spit take.
So,
Just a rumor.
yeah. So I think they're just going to revamp the 19 hours of the
Do you
Today
not,
Show.
Do you
Thank
not?
God.
Do you not know that, Marissa?
That Santa's white?
Oh, that's the wrong one.
Wrong
Hang
one,
on.
right.
I was
No,
going to say Megan
Yeah,
Megan
we're
Kelly
done.
will sing it now.
Jazzy, when did you
Sorry,
put out a
sorry.
Christmas album?
Santa just is white.
There's that. Did you not know?
No. I've seen
Santa
the.
just is white.
I've seen the interview. It's
No.
just shocking every time.
It is.
Every time.
Every fucking time.
Yes.
And Jeffrey
Yeah.
Smith has joined us in the
Well, hi.
YouTube
Oh,
chat
hi
room.
there.
Because
Hello.
every hour I just remember to go back and check that chat room.
Well, at least
Annette was there too,
At
but
least you
Annette
see
double
things every
dips.
hour. I
Yeah.
just show up for the last half hour.
I know.
So,
You know,
and then I heard that CBS, I guess they have some kind of a morning program. I've never caught it and don't know
Gail
what they're
King
doing.
is on it.
But I guess
Isn't it
she's out
CBS
the
Good
door
Morning?
too.
No, I did not heard that.
Yeah, that they're gonna revamp that whole thing, and they.
She's
that,
such a good interviewer. So no.
I was just gonna say, wow.
Well,
Are these the
to see if that
lost
was
interviews?
real or
Yeah, I
not.
know.
Does that mean that she and Oprah have committed?
Yeah, they're gonna have a ceremony.
I'm going to be performing.
Oh,
Sandra
that's
Sandra
touching.
Bullock's gonna walk them both down the aisle while kicking Stedman's.
Stedman out of the
Yeah,
ass.
putting her foot on his
Stedman.
neck. Stedman.
Stedman.
David. There's
So
that.
yeah, there was that news from
Wow,
people who
that
care
was
about the
good news.
19th hour of the Today Show. I'm like, is this shit
Fourth.
still
I know,
on?
it's
Right.
Four.
For
Why
real.
do you need? No, it's got to be more than that.
No, it's the 4th hour of today.
Oh, because the first part's only 2 hours.
2 hours of
then
real.
Megyn Kelly, and then the drunk
right.
ladies.
Yes, but it's also broken up by another show.
They're making a 5th hour.
Well, it's actually the 4th hour of today, but they put something else in between there,
It's
which I
called
think
Tomorrow.
which I think is Kelly Ripa and Ryan Seacrest, and then they come back and do the drunk ladies.
Oh, today and tomorrow and
I
today. Do you
think
remember
so.
that when we were little?
That's how,
Excuse me.
And I think it was on Saturday nights. There was the nighttime show with like Tom Snyder to be tonight on today and today and tomorrow. Yeah.
That's right.
I do recall
My
that.
God, Tom Snyder.
Yeah, whatever the fuck that shit was.
Whatever.
Old people talking.
Oh, and
Wasn't
now,
he the-
and Nancy, I'm going to talk about underwear. I wear a boxer brief. Thank you very much.
Oh my
And
God, I'm
very
a dummy.
soft
I could have
cotton.
had 2 things of Sandy Bullock. Did you see this about her idea for the Oscar hosting?
No, what is it?
To kamikaze famous audience members with a teleprompter
Oh
and
my
have
God,
them just
that's
do it.
awesome.
Like, you people are fucking actors.
Oh, that's
Do it.
lovely.
I love
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah.
And you know what? She's fun enough to do
That's-
it. Melissa McCarthy and her,
Yes.
just
Right.
go at it.
Yep.
Well, but just like put
No,
it to
but,
put
right,
it
they
to-
asked
they
anyone?
can start.
Right.
They can start it off, warm
Yeah.
up the crowd, get everybody. But that's a terrific idea.
Have they asked anyone yet?
Very similar to the bit that
Had
Neil
I
Patrick
listened?
Harris did.
Had I listened?
No,
to-
they asked someone who dropped out like 5 seconds later.
Well, and,
Yeah.
and it was
Kevin Hart,
suggested that Wanda
right?
Sykes do it.
Oh.
It was suggested that she do it because clearly
Yeah.
he was bowing out because of LGBT comments.
But it's not
She-
on HBO.
But I don't know how to.
I'm just
No,
saying,
she-
I can't fathom. Can she? Do you think
Oh
she?
yeah, because she was on. Oh, what's the
Speaking of
show? She was on
The
the
New
show.
The New
Adventures
Adventures
of
of
Old
Old Christina.
She was
God.
very funny
Christina.
on
Very,
that.
no, not that she's not funny, but could she be clean in like a more stand-up kind
Oh,
of
yeah, yeah.
thing? Okay, I wouldn't think so, but
I mean, she
knows?
does enjoy working blue, but not
I
on-
do appreciate the. Well, she's black and blue, as it
Yeah.
were.
Yes.
I believe
Yeah, she's both.
something.
All right, so have you wrapped that part
Those
up?
are my thoughts.
It's not my part.
Well, no, I just was looking at
Now
you
I'm
as a
back to
general.
Not my part.
I'm very excited. It's 2 things I'm done. Here, let's go to
You're done?
headlines with Marnie.
Okay, so now we're going to... Marnie,
Hi.
are you ready for this?
Sure. What do you need?
Well, I don't know. What, do you have any
Your
headlines that you were going to
Yeah.
read?
Yeah.
We want all the parts that you were.
If you've got
Oh
something...
no! First, you got to tell us what you did this week.
Oh, no, wait. Okay, we're going to pause that.
Okay, I
Okay,
can do that.
what
I can do
have
that.
you done? Where have you been?
Where you been? Where you be?
Wait a minute. Wait.
Where you
Wow.
be?
I don't know. Is this the
There's,
Ebonics?
there's our last corporate sponsor.
Which is what?
Ain't nobody got no time for that.
No.
Really?
Nope. Nope.
You've been
None
using
of
it,
that.
and it's not effective.
None of that.
Stop
Look what it
it.
did to my hair.
It all fell out. Al tried it. Nope. This week, nothing
I didn't say
work,
nothing.
nothing. 2 weeks, nothing except work. It's just been craziness. And I got Michelle Obama tickets.
Hey.
And what else? Because that's the highlight of everything. for
That's
me right
fantastic.
now.
Now, based on
The
what
highlight
I
of
saw
everything
of
for me
Michelle
right now.
Obama tickets, is this like the 3rd mortgage on your house, or what have you done? Because they were not cheap.
They were not expensive.
Oh, yo, really? Because I saw somebody who was like $600
Right. And
It's
I'm
got to be scalp.
I'm a moron, but I'm not that big of a moron. Like
Yeah,
that
no.
would be I'm sitting on Michelle Obama's lap. She's playing Santa, who is not just white.
Spoon feeding you
And,
milk, right?
right. And I get the figgy pudding right fucking here. But no.
Not the figgy
Nay,
pudding.
nay, nay.
And I certainly don't
You
want it
leave
right
that figgy
fucking
pudding
here.
alone.
Yeah.
That's
You
all-
just hey, Missus.
That's a lot.
I
Hey.
do not want to
That
get
just
caught up
hey
with
there.
figgy pudding metaphor.
Hey.
What's your name?
Well,
I
Anyway.
can't unimagine that.
I'm
Can't
just
either.
get
Now, when
that
you
out of
make
your
the
head.
figgy pudding, do you have to change your underwear? or-
Maybe
Oh no.
or boxer briefs.
Well, Christmas is coming.
You don't know.
the, goose
Well-
the goose is getting fat.
I
But
spilled the figgy pudding.
I do have to say,
Yeah. No.
I do not know what figgy pudding is.
I don't either. But it was something about, the holidays.
Okay. Anybody?
I
Figgy
mean, I'd
pudding?
say fruit. I'd say fruitcake, but you
I'm
two
going
are
to
already
assume
here.
figs are in it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hope.
I'm gonna
Gosh, I
hope
hope
it's
so.
pudding, but
I'm almost.
Chief Googler?
I bet it's like a bread pudding. I bet.
The cartographer had the night off. When did the Googler get back here?
So I know that
Never know.
I know that the song stems from an old tradition that we don't do anymore that made
I really
caroling
can't
more like
say.
adult drunken trick or treating. And so the lines about we won't go until we get some, like all of that, it was really kind of a threat. Like mobs of people
we
would
won't
show.
go until we get
Right.
some. It did seem a bit
It's
threatening.
aggressive.
It felt very Me Too.
It's
like,
very
retrospect.
aggressive.
Well, that's what I'm
baby, it's
gonna-
cold
that's what I'd be
outside, and I
doing.
won't go until I
So
get
that's
some.
the thing that people used to do.
And
They
you
used to
can't
just,
make me.
And you
I need a mouth hug.
And you can see it happen.
Wrong
Okay.
story?
Well, that's a little
Okay.
off color.
And you can see it happen as recently as the Judy Garland Christmas special. Because
As recently.
right, in 1958.
You're taking me with you. Wow.
Threatening carolers.
Yeah, threatening carolers. They would show up and they would sing and they would just kind of, until they got invited in for booze and snacks, and then they'd have a good time and then they'd go on about their merry way. So that's what that whole song
And
is
someone
about.
just threw figgy pudding at them, like, take
What,
this,
stand
bitch.
by. I don't. What did we do to the network? Are there just too
Wear
many
that as a
people
hat,
happening
bitch.
here? Marnie, what'd you do to the Wi-Fi?
Here's some figgy pudding. It's a figgy pudding fight. I like it. I just
All
want to
right.
keep saying that. Figgy pudding fight.
Figgy. Shush.
Wow, how about that? You show up late and then
Figgy pudding recipes.
She shushed me.
Figgy pudding recipes.
No, it's a real thing. Look, allrecipes.com. I've got a recipe.
By the way, she is not at the
involve
University,
flour
Jenny.
and
She
sugar
is going to
and
be at
nutmeg and
Comerica
cinnamon.
Theater downtown.
Oh, okay.
That's right.
That's actually smaller. She should really go to Gamage and sell more tickets.
Yeah, it's
For
a type
real.
of Christmas pudding that was originally made with figs. It may be baked or steamed in an oven.
Oh, a hot steamer.
Huh.
Mm.
Yeah.
Hey,
Ew.
now.
Does that go along with the mouth?
Well, I fucking said about
That's
figgy
filthy.
pudding. What?
You're
I
So
don't
gross.
from
get it.
allrecipes.com.
You're gross.
I'm gross.
Yeah.
You were talking about shit being sucked up a tube in a hospital earlier. I'm gross.
Like actual shit.
God, why?
So
Some
one,
people don't understand metaphors.
It's holly fecal Christmas.
2 cups of buttermilk, 12 ounces of dried figs.
with that.
Oh,
yeah.
so it's light.
Flour, sugar. It's a cup is
It's a
what it
cup,
is.
a cup,
Flour,
a cup. So I had
sugar,
vanilla ice cream to cut the
butter.
sweetness.
No. There's eggs, there's butter, there's almonds. So it's
What's
it's
not
like
in figgy pudding is, I guess, the next question.
broccoli.
There you go.
No vegetables were.
Uh-huh.
Wait,
Seems fair.
there you go. There you go.
Vodka was not responsible.
All right, so you got tickets to Michelle Obama.
Yep.
She's lovely.
Oh, I'm just so excited. And they were $109, something
Each?
like that.
Okay.
That's reasonable.
How far?
Totally
where are you?
reasonable.
Do you know where you are?
Yes.
She's
I'm
right
at
here.
the house.
It's the sweater. It's given Where's Waldo vibes.
This is like in March, right? March, April?
You should probably find out before the time comes.
Yeah.
February.
Oh, I thought it was. Oh, I didn't realize it was that recent.
Maybe March 3rd and March 9th.
Okay.
I don't know. It's somewhere in there. I just won't go anywhere in
Gotcha.
February or March. Just in
Gotcha.
case. I'll cover my bases with that. I don't know. So anyway, yeah, we're sitting like so. There's that whole first section, whatever.
Yeah.
And then
Well, we were there for hair, so there's that section in front of where we were for hair.
and then the second area where they usually have the sound system kind of thing.
Okay.
That's usually where they have sound.
Okay.
That's where we are at.
Okay.
And
Yeah, there's no bad seat there.
no, and for me, what I just have terrible restless leg, like very terrible restless leg,
In
and
seat.
so I have to be on
the
the
end
aisle,
or-
and I was
right.
able to get that, and I mean, just lucky. Oh no, I'm lying to you completely. That's the first 4. No, I got
It's
2.
June Carter Cash.
Because I got. Oh, why did I? So late.
We don't
Anyway.
know.
What's on Marn? Jenny wants to know what's on your shirt. What's it say? Use your power to empower.
Oh,
That's touching.
good
Well,
stuff.
and you wear that to the Michelle Obama thing.
I plan on it. So now push them down when they're acting like assholes, I think is her phrase, right? Or raise them up, something
When they go
like
high.
that. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
They go hi, I bake brownies. I don't know.
Anyway, no, we're in
They go
the
high. It's easier to punch him in the nuts.
we're 4 rows from the back on that first section.
Okay.
And
is
it's
where we are.
February 12th
Yes. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
now
March.
you know how to use
Thank
calendars.
you.
5 p.m.
Now he does.
So I'm there on time. Thank you. Yeah. I know it's
Right.
not, see?
Right.
but-
Exactly.
Because I've never played that game. Anyway, let's see.
I know who the
Is that
tardy one
allowed
is.
now?
I'm just gonna get snarky about it.
Now, she arrives 2.5 hours late for the show, and now she's a bitch.
Yeah.
Right. All of a sudden, that's how it works out. Jesus
I
Christ.
don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Oh. No wonder I
Marissa
call
said
you
I could do
Mariah.
it, you know.
What's that? Oh, the sitter just called. I got it.
Hi, Harrison.
I did.
gotta go.
I
Harrison.
did forget to feed my cat again.
Well, meow.
I know. It just got back from
For the 50th year in a row.
Montreal. Yeah. 50 years of not feeding the cat. God damn it.
It's a very, very.
I
That's a
shipped my
hungry
cat.
kitty. That's a very hungry kitty.
Well, no, we actually had a story about a cat earlier.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Meow.
Are you done? Is that
Oh my gosh, Harrison's on
Is that
our
all
side.
you've done?
Yeah, but seriously, work and stress about work.
Okay, so we'll
and
continue on with
work
headlines.
and- Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right.
So in headlines, you were talking about things that people said about vegetables. Well, I have something that we can't say anymore. Weird. And do you have that video that I sent you a couple weeks ago? You said you'd have it queued up for last week. And then I wasn't here. That would be my other one.
Well, be sure to stick around for Marty.
That's all.
That's some
so
breaking
tell
news.
you so tell that story, and then I'll see what video you
Okay.
sent me.
So
So that'll be fun.
we have to be. It should be right there. It's the last thing I think. I sent
Well,
you.
probably so, but I have to find you in my list. I have a lot of.
And then I'm there.
I have to click
You're
on the.
very important.
I have to click on the show older link.
You're pretty.
God, we know something about being 20 and
Baby,
people
it's
saying
cold.
something.
Who said what? 20
Something. I heard it on the way
times
here.
2.
Well, if Buddy Early's 30, we can all be 20.
That's a good point. So, we've talked about how Aaron, my Aaron, is the PETA representative.
Jesus
right?
Christ.
God lover.
Oh my God.
Anyway, PETA says, and by God, if we're not offended by everything by now, fucking Rudolph with his red nose shoved up Hermes' ass, and there's all kinds of weird things happening.
Who's Hermes? Did he get it? Does
Hermes,
he
he wants to be a dentist.
He wants to be a dentist.
Is this the snow
That's
video?
Dion Brown.
Is the snow video? Okay, got it.
Yeah.
That's
Every
Dion
time I
Brown.
see that elf, I just see Dion Brown.
So PETA says that phrases like "bring home the bacon"
oh yeah, I heard about this one.
are comparable to racism
They are
and
not.
homophobia.
They are not.
Oh, yes, they are. According to PETA.
How is bring home the bacon homophobic?
Meat-based idioms like flogging a dead horse sounds kind of dirty, or taking the bull by the horns can be compared with homophobic and racist language, according to the Animal Rights Organization. Just as it became unacceptable to use racist, homophobic, or ableist language, phrases that trivialize cruelty to animals will vanish as more people begin to appreciate. I can't do this. To appreciate animals for who they are and start bringing home the bagels instead of the bacon.
I mean, that's fair. I'm going to eat both.
I'm gonna have the bacon on the bagel
What if
with
I have
some
a-
lovely cream
If those
cheese.
fuckers from PETA try to take my goddamn bacon
I'll
away from
cut 'em.
Oh, I will.
What if
I'll
I have
start
a
eating
gluten
people
allergy?
just to hide the bodies.
It's a gluten-free bagel.
Oh, that's shitty.
That's
don't
awful.
it's
Don't
no.
fall for that.
Uh-uh.
No,
It's a
don't
trick.
fall for
It's
it.
a trick. The group took to Twitter last Tuesday, which was 2 weeks ago, because I'm rather, offering a graphic showing
Timely
some
news.
possible possible alternatives to meat-related expressions. Instead of killing two birds with one stone, say feed two birds with one scone.
No.
No.
Two
No
things.
thanks.
And instead of being the guinea pig, say be the test tube.
Excuse me?
Okay.
You heard me.
No.
Yeah,
First
don't,
of all,
don't pretend
who's
like you did not
feeding
hear me.
their scone to some fucking birds?
Who's stoned and coming up with this?
Suck it, birds. That scone is for me.
Come on.
This
And the
guy
other
from
thing is,
Oregon.
grabbing the
so
bull by the
expensive.
horns, the only person dead in that story is the person that grabbed the fucking bull
Hey,
by the horns.
Don't beat a dead horse. Feed a fed horse.
Why are you
You-
gonna
you
feed
heard
the
me.
horse if he's already fed? He's not gonna eat.
I can't.
And the
Bring
dead
home
horse
the
can't
bacon.
feel it.
Bring
Just
home the
keep
horse.
beating
Take
it,
the
right.
take the bull by the horns. Take the flower by the thorns. That's just gonna cut my
It
hand.
just hurts, right?
Well,
Like,
you were
that's
dead
so
from the
dumb.
bull metaphors. I mean, really, you came out better in the flower story.
So, for real, words matter, they say, and as our understanding of social justice evolves, our language evolves along with it. Duh. Now, the comparison with racism and homophobia was met with anger on Twitter,
Yeah.
with some arguing that PETA was trivializing, race and gender issues.
Both of them.
It's a
race
strong
and
enough
gender.
statement
Yeah, we're gonna let both
To
tribbles
say-
into this one.
to say, don't be cruel to animals. I'm not saying people are more important than animals, but you appear to be saying that some people are the same as animals, and that's what racist, homophobes, and ableists say. As someone who has had homophobic slurs shouted at him and seen individuals physically threatened and beaten while anti-LGBTQ epithets were hurled, your stupidity is not even laughable. It is offensive to equate common animal idioms to racism, ableism, and homophobia.
What is ableism, and what did we do to Abel?
So,
Because he seemed
no,
fine.
It's why we can't say
You caned
retarded
him.
anymore.
You caned him, is what you
Oh.
That's why we can't
Yeah.
say the R word anymore.
That's right.
Right. Ableism is why
Yeah.
we can't say retarded anymore.
Yeah. and or like handicapped or whatever, because it's handicapable.
Handicapable.
My dad was like, nope, handicapped. I'm handicapped. I'm not
Because if
handicapable.
you're capable, then park over there.
That's what I'm saying. What? You're
Wheel
capable.
your happy ass across the parking lot. You're that
what?
fucking capable.
Could you get
Quit
the hell
taking
out of
that
the way?
parking spot, you son of a bitch. So there's that.
I come off as grossly insensitive in that comment.
Just the one,
I
dear.
I do love this person though. Do you ever wonder if PETA is a false flag set up by Big Meat to make everyone hate vegans?
Yeah.
I thought that was awesome.
Nobody needs help hating
Nobody
vegans.
does. No.
Not even vegans. They're the most self-loathing group I've ever met.
Oh,
Mind the
that's
gap. Jenny
funny.
says, "Mind the gap is offensive to people with gap teeth." Alfred E. Newman comes to mind.
Right.
Oh, anyway, so that is everything brought
I
to you
think
by
that's-
PETA today.
I think that's enough.
Yeah, because we don't say homeless at work; we say domicile challenged.
Very nice. I appreciate that.
And you wanted a video to be played about snow.
Because this, it's timely because
Oh,
of the
the
weather.
weather
Side
outside
is
is
frightful, right? And we've talked about like when Clayton does his, crime scene footage, right? And there's all kinds of the crazy when it comes to reporters and how they go a little bit overboard with their breaking news, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this gal put this thing together, and you guys might not. I almost peed my pants. I just thought she was brilliant.
All right.
And
Cut
she's
your tape.
and she's Southern.
Well, let's
so
let's go to video and see what happens here. Here we
All
go.
right.
Everyone, I have to warn you, we are in a national state of catastrophe and disaster in Little Rock, Arkansas. As you can see around me, the snow is pouring down from the sky. It is freezing cold out here. It's basically a blizzard. You could pretty much compare Little Rock, Arkansas to Canada at this point. I would say hold your kids tighter tonight because this snow is coming down hard. I don't know if you're going to be able to drive ever again because the ice is going to stick on these roads for good. I would recommend watching the news for the rest of your life because this weather is just absolutely horrendous. We have never seen a snow like this. The first snow, the worst snow in Arkansas history. Everyone, I have got to show you. Please come over here and take a look at this with me. Look at the snow accumulation on this leaf. It has got to be at least 2 centimeters high. Much cause for concern. Everyone, please take heed of our warnings. This is not a situation you want to be in. As you can see, I'm barely seeing. I can barely make it through this obnoxious snow right now. Pray for me, y'all.
So, we're getting all judgy and laughing at her, but every 5 years when a dusting of snow comes to Phoenix,
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
exactly
right.
what
Oh,
happens.
Or when it rains.
Yeah.
Shut it down! Shut
Yeah,
it down!
shut
Shut the city down!
Everyone go home. Stay home. Oh my God! I
Oh,
just
that's
thought
right.
that was great. Yeah, just watch it. I watch the news for the rest of your life.
Yeah,
just the rest of your life.
Just stay tuned.
Round up. Round up.
Oh, it's about 2 centimeters. Snow size queen.
Oh,
So what are you obsessed with?
You.
Were you
Oh,
obsessed
okay.
with anything?
No. I'm actually obsessed with one thing.
What?
And I
Oh,
think
God, she
that
brought
it-
props.
Oh, Christ. Did she move in?
Is there a puppet show?
Is that monkey gonna play the piano again?
Oh, wow.
I
did.
Milk
Oh,
and Pepsi.
for Laverne.
Aw, I'm not drinking that.
I'm not either.
Oh, I'm not either. That's why I got tiny ones. But I did think that I would, at least try it. I don't mind trying it.
I'm not doing
Yeah,
it.
I don't care.
I tried it as a kid.
Can't make me.
Did you? I think I did too, but I don't
What
remember.
an awful thing to do to delicious milk.
Oh,
And
Or
I can't,
Pepsi. I enjoy
I can't remember
Pepsi.
what the story is.
I'm not a Pepsi drinker, but
Oh God, and it's whole milk too. Sorry.
Mm.
It's gonna be a lot of farting today.
Show's almost over.
It's gonna be a barn burner at the house tonight.
Reasons I'm glad I don't go to sleepovers with Al.
there you have it.
Oh, it's a fruitful night at Uncle Alfie's.
This is gonna be vile because
Well,
I
Can I
hate
sleep here?
so.
Yes, Marissa can stay here tonight.
I've got a couch. You can
Well, one way or another. To Laverne.
Oh,
To
Laverne.
Laverne DeFazio.
Schlemiel Schlemazel.
It's
Yeah.
like a malt.
like a Coke
Yeah,
float, yeah.
that's what I figured.
Oh,
yeah.
it is?
Yeah, that's what I figured.
It just tastes like a root beer float or a Pepsi float,
I'm against those.
especially
two.
with whole milk because that's practically just cream.
Oh, my
yeah.
God. it is.
That's
That's
exactly
not
what
even
it is.
remotely gross.
No. Huh.
Not
I can
even
go with
close.
Laverne. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Laverne
Okay.
is milk and Pepsi.
Let me list the things I will drink that before I eat. Cooked cauliflower, cooked carrots, any kind of Brussels sprout. What she's spitting out of her mouth.
Clean up on aisle 3.
Yeah.
Clean up on aisle 3.
It's delicious.
Put some pea. What the hell are you putting peas in?
I'm not mad about that.
Where's
You
that?
are.
I'm very
Clearly.
offended.
What the
by
hell
that.
is gobi?
Oh, they're eating aloo gobi.
Well,
I don't know what that
clearly.
is.
Oh.
We're all offended by something, you know?
That verbally harassed me.
She doesn't say
Cheers!
anything for 2
Cheers!
hours, but when
Look
she
how-
does,
Now, yeah, that-
fucking
I love
hilarious.
it.
Now I
love
gotta
it.
do
Well
Boo Boo
done.
Kitty.
No,
Oh, she's
well
still
done.
alive, so we can
Oh,
say Boo Boo
Boo-Boo
Kitty for
Kitty.
the next time.
Boo Boo Kitty.
We got a Vodio
That's right.
Do. That's, oh my God.
Oh, yes.
That
That's
just
awesome.
cracks
All
me
right.
up. This is not bad.
It's really not.
Where's that? All right. So in our final
offended.
segment of
I
our
do
final show of
appreciate
2018, we're going to do this and see if we can get through it. Here we go. Uh-huh.
And now, Thoughtful Vulgarity, where we in the studio try to make ourselves slightly less shallow, which is not hard to do. We will ask one question of the panel while fucked up drunk, because you know at home how well it goes when important questions come up several hours after alcohol has been served. Politics, religion, why not? What could possibly go wrong? Who could you offend?
Oh, can I have a mug?
Good luck.
Got a mug, please.
What do you need?
A
What does she
cunt
want?
mug.
Oh, they're on the
Oh.
they're on the.
I'm good.
Make sure
She's
to
mixing live. She's mixing live. No,
We'll
she's,
do it live.
There we go. We'll do it live.
Here,
Hey, thanks.
fuck it, we'll do it live.
We'll do
Thank
it
you.
live.
I love that.
It's fantastic. Isn't that great?
Yeah. It
What-
took me
God.
about
Do you want
an
one?
hour and a half to realize
figure
what
it
it was.
You're welcome.
You know what we're going to do?
But you know our
gonna
tagline
get
is
you one.
"See you next Tuesday."
Yay.
No.
Well, I figured.
Like, well, no,
yeah.
but I didn't know if you listened long enough to know until the end, because I know you fall asleep early. You're on the East Coast. I figured,
Yeah.
you bowed out early.
I do.
Yeah, but now look at
Yeah.
you keeping up with us now.
Although I noticed the
Well done.
RuPaul has a new acronym
The what?
using the RuPaul.
Oh,
Yeah.
what,
Charisma,
oh,
uniqueness.
that's not new.
Something. Well, I just heard
Right,
it.
no,
I don't
right.
fucking listen.
No, but I caught
was
that
like,
too.
I was like, this bitch is trying to steal our material.
Yeah.
Bitch.
Fucker.
Fuck
She needs
her.
to sit her
No, you-
ass down. Also,
Right.
She's got an
Anand's
Emmy.
buying kilos of things.
It's all right.
Exactly.
And I'm a little concerned.
No. They're on the metric system.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. We've only been on it since the 70s, technically by
I
law.
got a little concerned.
I just
This is disgusting to put together. Like to just.
Oh yeah, I told you it looks like it's
Yeah.
got a like.
It's about to curdle,
You have to
y'all.
ratio it out, girl. You have to
That's,
figure it out.
that's gonna be awful puke. I hope y'all don't puke
it's
later.
And then add
That's
like
not
a
gonna-
little. We could add a little vodka.
I think rum would be delightful
Rum would
with
be
this
delightful.
combo.
Well, it's not
not
rum
gonna-
and Pepsi or rum and milk. It's milk and Pepsi. You gotta figure it out.
But no, but we're just
Yeah,
saying
but
how
that
to
is-
how
so
to
that's-
age this up. You know
That's
what
right.
I mean?
That's what Laverne.
Get it into our
We're
rating.
gonna have a DeFazio,
So we
and
can
the
Vodio
DeFazio's
Dodo
gonna
later,
have the
not
rum.
together.
Joe's apparently
Get your guys and
freebasing
dolls
with
on.
Coke
Put
and a
some
splash of cream or coffee, so Joe's out.
Well, yeah. Joe's trying.
Yodi Vodo, Joe, whatever it is.
Okay.
Wow.
The differently abled should not be at the microphone.
All right, who's got a question? Actually, we should. Might Marissa have a question for thoughtful vulgarity?
Wow, it sounded like it sounded like Al talking to
Look,
me.
you've been here
Who are
36
you?
minutes. You need to shush. And I've been here
Words.
I've been here the whole train ride.
And yet words are still new.
Yeah,
to it.
conductor.
So, can I have the rules on these questions?
Oh, there are no
none.
rules.
There are none.
Anything you've ever wanted to ask.
The rules are that Marnie answers first.
Yeah, that is.
So
That's
you're in
always-
the perfect place for it.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Um,
That's good. Look at you.
yeah, it doesn't have to be especially thoughtful, but can be. No, nothing too serious, nothing too frivolous. Everything is kind of on the table.
Yeah.
You also will have to answer the question, but you get to answer last.
Last, yeah. You get
And
to go
those are the
last.
rules.
Those are the rules.
Yeah. Last week's question was, "What is the ugliest you've ever?" That's bullshit. Shut up. Last week's question was, what is the ugliest you've ever cried in public?
Interesting.
Because I had just ugly cried at a place.
And if you would like to just dabble into the water for a second and share that with us, if you'd like to, we can do that on our way to your.
I would love to.
Okay, so when did you? What was your ugliest cry in public?
My ugliest cry. I definitely had a fight with my boyfriend.
Oh.
Out in public.
Current or former boyfriend?
Current.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
yeah. We love to fight in public and make everybody uncomfortable.
You know,
Squad goals.
Some
I'm
people
kind
have
of
PDAs.
on board with this.
But
Yeah.
she's like, and then wham, wham.
Have the
I like it.
fight when it needs to be fought.
Exactly.
Get it out now. Get it out.
Don't
and
cry out
over.
loud. That doesn't work for
Well,
us.
just don't cry for me, Argentina.
Don't go to bed mad.
Yeah.
Let's
Never
fight it. We're
sleeping.
gonna fight at Costco.
Just
Goddamn
stay
it!
the fuck up and fight.
All right.
I like it.
I sleep better.
So
when
fight
I'm
with the boyfriend.
Okay.
Go on.
Oh yeah. What was it about? Who knows? Who cares?
Sure.
Right. No. That's
Best fights.
Like all good fights, yeah.
Snot
Got a
was-
good ugly cry out of it.
Snot was hitting the ground at that point.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, one of those.
Oh.
Red, puffy,
Yeah,
everything.
yeah. And then did he feel bad?
He sure did.
Yeah, and then it worked, right?
He always apologizes
Yeah.
first.
Oh, I love
I
it.
don't
I love
cave.
it.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
cave. That's what I learned from my mother.
That was the best face maybe ever.
Thank you.
Oh, I don't
cave. No.
See, but like that's what
I
happens
love
when you
it.
grow up with Nancy as a mom. She doesn't cave on anything. He too grew
Yeah.
up with Nancy as a
And
mom.
you, Ellie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Learn from the best.
Oh, that's great.
When you grow up with Nancy.
Ain't no caving.
Shout
Ain't
out
no
to
caving.
my mother.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be here today without her.
Well,
Quite
Now,
physically.
now,
Yeah.
now, Nancy is the
Literally,
sister I've yet to meet. Obviously, Debbie
Yes.
multiple times has been here.
Yep.
You've arrived with the Debbie. I've never had the pleasure of meeting Nancy. So
And
She's
it
a
really
good
is.
sister.
It really
The
is a
Debbie.
pleasure.
someday.
Absolutely.
We're hoping.
Everybody's
Yeah.
invited
real.
for whatever holiday they want.
Oh, just pick one?
Yep.
Oh,
pick
yeah.
one and
It
show
can't be
up.
Valentine's Day because apparently I have a Michelle Obama.
That's okay.
I have to stay in
Again,
town.
it's
Yes,
the
you do.
12th.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
She already
Oh.
forgot.
Okay.
I'm partial to St. Nicholas Day. I'll be
Well,
over in
probably.
early
I was
December.
gonna go late because he just said 5 p.m.
So
I
that's
wasn't
your
sure.
okay. So that's your cry in public.
Right.
Now,
Yep.
might you have a question that maybe you've even posed this question to other friends of yours in your circle of friends? Of,
What is the wildest kind of question that you can
Like an
think of that you might want to
insightful-
ask and just see your uncle have to answer?
That's true. There's a family relation
Yeah,
there, so
yeah,
that adds some
yeah,
stuff to it.
It does. It really does.
Oh man.
Oh, you're not shy, no,
I'm trying
but-
to figure out like a good question from the family because I would love to hear his response. But I just
I like it.
I
Dig
just
deep.
can't.
Yeah,
Let's
dig,
go
dig,
dark.
dig,
I'll go to a
dig.
commercial
Do
break if
it,
you can come up
do
with
it, do it.
We can do a dance break if we need
We'll
to.
do a dance break.
We can
Let's
do a
it.
dance break.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Let her think a minute.
She's like, I don't even know what that
I'm
even
gonna give you
means.
time.
I know, but I just can't.
But you can. I'll help you.
Being put on the spot is
Yeah,
just
no,
not
but
my
see, now
thing.
we're gonna have a dance break.
We're gonna have a
You
little
won't be on
dance
the spot.
break.
Yeah,
You
I'm
got
gonna go
30
pee.
seconds.
Oh, we're gonna do a dance break
Yeah.
right now.
Okay.
We're gonna here we go.
If you think it sucked so far, just wait till after this 30-second dance break.
Well, the squirrels are back in the attic. Your dad won't call an exterminator. He says it's personal this time. Where are you? It's very loud there. Are you taking a Zumba class?
And we're back.
Sure. It's not going to be as deep and dirty as we wanted.
You don't know. We can make anything.
We can make anything.
Yeah, we are.
Right.
We've been doing
right.
this 7 years. We
That's
trust
why
me.
I'm here.
Annette wants to go straight for the good stuff.
I
You
like-
see that?
Yeah, I know. I see that. And it's
Annette,
just
you
something.
guys are such prudes. I don't know that that's ever been. Well, I've been called that, but I don't think anybody else really has.
Not usually.
It used to be like when we first started the show that they would say anything about sex and
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
and Al
Somebody
was
say
always
dildo and
so
Marty's under
good-
the table.
Al was so good at that. Like he would come up with something and I'd be like, "Will you just shut up? Just go on to the next person,
Yeah.
whatever." And I'm crawling under the table. It was really ridiculous. Now I'm like, "Fuck you."
All right, so
I'm
you have
still
a
not
question.
answering
I
it.
do. Here it is. What do you think would be the hardest about living hundreds of years in a youthful state?
Oh. Marnie?
That's what you picked. That's the one. You
I kind
got?
of like that. Like, okay.
And no,
so-
define youth. No, wait, now define youthful state.
Oh, that's true. We need parameters.
Now, you are continually youthful and never age.
So the portrait of Dorian Gray.
Or are you somewhere else where everybody else is youthful and only you age?
This doesn't apply just to you.
Yeah.
I just no. Oh, you're on. See you next Tuesday, right? No, I wanted to know how she was asking the question.
In a world where everybody ages and you don't, how are you gonna? What do you do?
I'm gonna laugh at all you fuckers.
Run around and charge more.
I'm gonna be like, right. Ha ha.
$20 is $20.
Yeah.
Well, I
Wow.
think that personally, I think that would be horrible, based on not learn, because if you stay in that state, then you're not gonna learn anything, right? I mean, don't you agree? Like,
that how
I don't know. This is fictitious, so
Right, it's fake shit. But I would think that you're not.
Is this a press
learning
conference
so
at the
you
White
think
House?
you think age and wisdom are mutually tied?
I think it can be. I'm just saying, like, if you're staying in one kind of, I'm 19 forever, I think that no matter how long you're alive, you're not necessarily growing because that's all. That's what I think.
Well, I think
Okay.
it was more so like you're aging, but as you age, you just don't.
Oh, just physically.
Wait, is this like a Benjamin Button question?
Absolutely.
It's whatever we make
Oh.
it at this
It
point.
is.
Oh, see, I took it.
I went a different route.
Then go ahead.
Sorry?
No, but that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're like
You're-
100, but I
for
look
sure.
19.
Yeah.
Oh, that fucking suck.
I'd charge
Except
more.
nothing would hurt.
Right.
$40 is $40.
Yeah.
I think that.
Is that how you're making the payments?
Hey,
these
who
days?
cares?
So wait, so
I got
would
bills, they're
get all the
multiplying.
wisdom,
Girl.
but
You would.
my back would not hurt.
This is correct.
Oh, I'm not mad about this.
You'd
at
have smaller
all.
tits. This might be my
Oh,
guess
actually, I'd have bigger tits because I had the reduction at 24.
too. Got it.
My version of that.
Or I thought you were going to tell us when your reduction
I know
was.
my reduction was not as successful.
They really did a wonderful job. They're very symmetrical.
They really are. They're quite handsome.
I think
Oh, shit.
that no matter what, like, because you lose it. Like, it's good to be 20 when you're 20, but then you gotta stop. You know what I mean? Like, I think it would just be exhausting to constantly be expected to be young and have that much energy. Like, it's kind of a relief as you hit like mile markers of like, oh, thank God I don't have to do that anymore.
But
Yeah.
is it about your, like, so if you're continuing to grow, like, in your mind,
Right, but my mind is tired too.
No, I know, that's what I mean. Like, do you believe in that kind of physically, like, or emotionally?
It was
or
tired
whatever,
about
worn out?
7:45 tonight, just for the record.
Well,
I
why
know.
do you think I was
No,
in
but
here?
that's how I would think of it. Is you would be expected to be youthful and do youthful things, and like, oh my God, no, you guys go.
Like, oh, that's getting kind of nasty.
I know it. It's yeah. It looks like you can read that shit and tell my fortune. That would be my thing. Is
Hieroglyphics.
I think there's a point where you want to move on, and like, I would just be exhausting to just constantly be expected to like keep up with youth if I was no longer youthful. You know what I mean? And 10 years of doing stuff in my 20s was enough. 10 years of doing stuff
Yeah,
in my 30s
because that
was
would be an expectation, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
right.
you just want
People
you'd have
around
to keep,
you and
keep up doing with that youthful stuff, and
I tried that into my 30s and early 40s, and it just didn't work very well.
Oh no, and everybody
you know.
everybody does that little marathon where you think you can keep up with the 20-year-olds, and then you just tumble across Campbell Avenue and
That's
fall
when
down
you
and
start
skin your
dating
knee.
the right age.
That seems awfully specific.
And it seemed recent. It seemed recent. Maybe Saturday night?
And Harrison says that a longer lifespan would breed ennui, and I do think that. Like, I think if you think you're gonna live forever, you would just stop trying. You know what I mean? Like, you have to kind of look at it as this might be the end, so fucking do it.
Well, and how many people would just start if you're gonna continue, like, you're just staying alive?
Yeah.
Staying alive.
Staying alive.
It's not the dance break anymore, kids.
It has to be done.
But then you would just become. I mean, how many people would just become assholes and just start fucking with people?
Yeah, because you
could.
Yeah.
And just becoming
They
men.
have to be youthful
That's
to
the,
do
that's
that.
the portrait of Dorian Gray, where that ugliness
I didn't
has to go
right,
somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I would go back to what I was commenting earlier about when I was at that gathering on Saturday night, and those children, those kids that were 23, 24, are explaining to me how their life works with this social media thing, and I was almost exhausted just listening to what they do. I can't imagine having to keep up and do, literally. That's not going to happen.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't. I'm not going to post every 5 seconds of my life. I don't have that desire like they do. It's just raised in a different generation where it's just not. I get what they're. I understand the success rates and the what they're getting out of it because they're selling themselves. That's what they do. That's how the world works for them. But I was exhausted. I'm like, I can't imagine being young like that and having to keep up anymore.
Yeah.
I get 49 years old. I'm like you said, I agree. There was stuff you did in your 20s, 30s, 40s, and now I'm like, I'm just happy to go sit in a quiet bar in the corner and make fun of people. I don't need to walk through the bar and make fun of them.
Yeah.
No.
You'll come to me. I'll sit by the bathroom.
I'm not going to walk through the bar and make fun of you. I'm just going to sit at a table when you walk by. I'll make snarky comments. Very different than in my 20s.
That's a good point. I just want to point my stupidity out right now because I had to look up two of the words that Harrison had up there because I've seen them before, but I wasn't sure, and that was enjoyable. Thank you, Harrison, because I had to look.
Have you
at
ever done a crossword puzzle? And we is like,
and
gonna
I've
get you
seen
there.
it. No, I've seen it, but I had to look it up
Yeah.
because I was like, wait a minute, what? So that was very exciting. Thank you for me.
Mm-hmm.
And
in
an
Nance, I
horny.
answered your question. If you go back, I did answer his question.
So I feel like this question's actually already been answered in book and cinematic form in the form of Interview with a Vampire.
Oh,
Clearly.
Oh, yeah. Really, yeah.
Because they
been listening to this bitch whine for 400
500
years.
fucking years. Yeah, and I feel like I would last all right for about the first. I'm gonna guess like 300 years. I'd be good before I really started.
That's
to get bored.
rather
There's a lot to
optimistic.
see. There's a lot to do. Like if you have like eternal youthfulness, like
But yeah, and the
how many
energy
times
to go
can you
with it.
and how many times can you reinvent yourself in hundreds of years? Oh my God! How
Ask
much fun.
Madonna.
She even became British.
Right.
Right there.
Right. Like I've ghosted my life twice now and completely reinvented it. I would love to be able to do that
Yeah.
whenever the fuck I wanted to. How cool would that be?
Sure,
I'm on board.
sure.
Honestly, I see no challenges. I see amazingness. And,
good.
and a million personality. I think I might need to talk to somebody.
Yeah. I think that's a good idea. I also think that
I
it's a
might
good idea
actually-
for her to realize that it's going to be a whole lot less than 300 years
I might
before
actually be
she
a
kind of-
sociopath.
She might actually come back from her Christmas holiday and be like, and we're done.
I might not come back. That's what ghosting is. Everybody's like, "What happened to Kat?" I don't.
Well,
fucking know.
as we round out the table, Marissa, it is to you, my dear.
Okay, well, being only 24,
So and not ever going past that.
not ever
She's
aging.
gonna learn.
No, I actually I'm looking forward to aging and getting all the experiences. I feel like if I weren't to age, I wouldn't be taken seriously, and I have that issue a lot in my field.
Okay.
People walk in and are instantly like, "Oh, you look, 18. Why are you here? What do you do?" Like, and I just get that constantly.
You
from-
couldn't have enough experience to do this job.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I face that issue, and I know plenty of people in the industry because the film industry just seems to never age. I don't know what these people are smoking, drinking, eating.
But I'd like
Can we get
some.
Kathy Lee Gifford on
Yes,
the phone?
yes, no. yes, no.
Right.
But people just don't seem to age. But when you are face to face with an actor and they are older than you and they know it, they just love to use that as a weird way to just jump in and kind of undermine you and kind of make you a little less confident. So like I'm looking forward to aging and learning and gaining more knowledge in my field, in the world, in everything. So like I think it would be terrible. I mean, I understand you could like reinvent yourself in every different state, and that would be amazing. But what happens when you run out of 50 states? And you run out of
There, you got to cross the pond.
And
Then
you run
Madonna
out
this bitch and become British.
You run out of
The beach at Veracruz.
Right. No, but you know what?
Sure.
There is a certain amount of I want to say satisfaction for lack of a better word to looking at the next batch of 24-year-olds and knowing that you know your shit and kind of being like, I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it is. It is.
That is very
yeah.
cool.
So then
I
my follow-up question would be,
Who the fuck gave this bitch a follow-up question?
me.
I like it.
Thank you.
Have you not been on this show before?
I've forgotten.
Well, you know the book of
it's been
questions,
a
the
little
page
bit, my
2 is the
bad. Yeah,
follow-up
yeah.
question. I'm
No, I
sure
know.
it might even be there.
I'm sure.
Is what age would be the youthfulness where you would stop? Because think of the disadvantages if someone decided that youthfulness was 8 years old and you were perpetually 8. Or so where would you?
Okay.
Like, for example, Big Bird, the character Big Bird was perpetually 6 years old.
Okay.
Big Bird never aged. He was always 6 years old.
Ew.
So when you think
Right,
but when you think about the level of intellect and all that, like you said, if 8 years old was the chosen age of youthful, all that,
Yeah, it's a whole different story. So what age, like, if you were gonna be stuck, if this was like, where would you want the clock to stop?
At 45, because I had just had a hysterectomy and I wasn't hurting as much as I am, this many years later.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I'd say 45. Because I got rid of all their. Actually, 9.
Wow.
Huh?
Well, that's when my period started, and I'm stuck on that.
So you get to keep your uterus but not have
yeah,
a period.
exactly. That's really where.
Remember when
I'm
Marnie
worried that I got it.
Remember when Marnie wouldn't talk about these things? Can we go back? Whatever age that was.
7 years ago.
Right.
Just put her back
Can
under
we go
the
back
table.
to 42?
Put her back under the table.
Let's go back to 42. I like that. I liked her better than.
Sorry. That's fantastic.
Let's do the math.
I was surprised I could do that math.
I know, that was pretty good.
I would like youthful to me. I would say 35.
Sure.
I think that was the right medley of knew some stuff, had the energy, could still hang with the boys.
Right,
you know what I
right,
mean?
right.
The blender was going.
Party like a rock
Yeah,
star.
could still go to a pool party and take my shirt off. You know what I mean? Like, not be in the moo not be Mrs. Roper.
Not be Buddy Early.
You'd be smart enough to accessorize. Clearly.
Gotta have the necklace.
Exactly, toy jewelry. Why not? Yeah, I would. 35 would be.
This is artistic rendering.
It's fantastic.
Okay, there's that.
Yeah, that would.
It's a striking man there.
That would be
On the
Mrs.
left or the
Roper
right?
on the
Yes,
right?
exactly. Audra Lindsay, ladies and gentlemen, still dead.
Super dead.
Super dead.
Super dead. Extra dead.
I think I would pick 40, because at 40, 40's still young, but yet at 40, it gives the impression that you are old enough.
Distinguished.
You can tell some people to fuck off at 40.
I'm pretty sure if you look in the dictionary of youthfulness, though, I don't know that 40
Yeah, because people go to like middle age, right? Especially
Right.
for and
How fucking old am I
more
gonna
so,
live?
especially for guys. Like,
And
they
it's
look
funny
at it,
because
that's the middle age
35
kind
is
of
when I had probably the biggest problem with my birthday. That was probably the birthday that gave me the most like agita and like I was like
Really?
half of 70. I felt
Yeah,
middle
yeah.
aged, and then like
We'll
in
stop
high-
if you all would like to Google agita.
and
but the
New Yorker.
spelling is
yeah. In hindsight, though, I
It's
was like,
akin to verklempt.
Yeah.
It's the neighbor.
but it's
of-
got some nausea.
Like, there's some bubbles.
Yeah.
Right. It's
Does it
verklempt with
look like
bubbles.
this?
There's a
Does it look
gurgling.
like
There's a
this?
gurgling that's not very pleasant.
Does it look like this?
It does look like that. When it comes up. When you
Visual
read this-
agita here
Yeah,
on-
when, here we go. Here's my agita sample. Yeah. Test that, bitch.
If chutzpah were in a glass,
Yeah.
there would be
Oh, no, that's not chutzpah. That's a different lady.
So it's supposed to spit out.
But it is
God.
funny to think about, like,
It's good.
oh my God, this is awful. I'm so old. And then, like, to think, like, oh my God, in, like, several years, you're going to look back at this and be like, ooh, that was really the prime. That was when it was all firing.
I don't know.
Well, I still think I was firing good at 40. I think
No. I'm just saying, but like you think at that moment, oh my God, I'm so old, or you know what I mean? You have that whatever age.
Right.
Everybody has that one birthday that kind of like
Yeah.
drops you.
Have you got to that age yet?
31 was awful. I thought I was gonna die.
Mm.
Yeah. What the fuck just happened to me? I'm in my 30s. So I would pick somewhere like mid 20s. I would pick like 24 to 28 to stay youthful there, because I'm still like young enough to feel invincible, like nothing can touch me.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like haven't realized my own mortality yet, which is what happened at 31. I was
Okay.
convinced I was just gonna die here.
I think maybe.
Granted, my life
Yeah.
wasn't
Wow.
the best at the time.
Wow. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
The year of the
Fair
octo.
point.
My living situation at the time,
point,
I was like,
yeah.
well, I'm just gonna die here.
Because
This
someone
is-
might murder me.
Well, or I'm
you
gonna wait
know,
for you
yeah.
to die. That was a thing too.
Oh my God. And she hasn't yet.
And she hasn't yet. No.
Oh, God.
And sometimes still listens.
Oh.
Glad you're still alive.
Maybe she's on a train.
I would say
glad.
May
I'm
10th
glad.
of
I'm glad that
2002 was
she's
the
still
last day I
alive.
thought I was immortal.
horrible.
Yeah.
That's when the immortality
This is not
gene
okay.
left.
Was that your rollerblade incident?
No, that was the day before I turned 35.
Oh, okay. I thought there was a rollerblade incident.
Yeah, but I still in my youthfulness, like I want a hint of that invincible mentality. You know,
Oh, yeah,
the,
yeah.
The untouchable.
And Pat Benatar can be your theme song.
Oh.
Oh, wait, no, that wasn't Invincible.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm right.
You know, I didn't understand people like at 30 or at 40, like those kind of critical birthdays or the milestone kind of birthdays.
Mm-hmm.
My friend who listens, direct, couldn't get out of bed on her 40th.
too, so you're fucked up.
I really did like junior high.
I tell my kid on the daily that nobody likes middle school.
Yeah.
That's not. You can't meet my kid.
Well, it's what you make of it, really. I mean, I think it's because I hated 6th grade so much.
He's making a shit show of it. Let me tell you.
Well, I
So
mean,
and now to you, do you have an age that are like? Is it too young to stop
mean,
the clock?
I don't feel invincible at the age of 24. I feel like I would feel invincible once I had my life together. Like once.
By
I
the way, it
hit-
never happens.
I feel like I'm
Still waiting for somebody to share the secret.
Reach.
So, okay, so you said you don't feel invincible now at 24. So, was there a time when you were younger that you did feel more invincible?
No.
Did anything like in your teen, any part of that was like, I can do anything I want, or no?
I hated my teenage years. I hated high school. I feel like.
Yeah,
fucking
she's
weird.
Fucked in the head.
Leave it. It's a
I
sidebar.
feel
The death
like
look that she just gave
in
Marty.
order to fully understand
49's a good age.
Yeah, that's fucking
maybe
Chris.
that's
I'm
my
dead.
youth. Maybe being able to feel like I have a life that I can support myself with.
Yeah.
Would create an invincibility within me.
As your mom would say, "Fuck you, money."
Exactly.
That's a nice
Oh,
feeling.
oh, I
like
you have enough
that.
money to say
Exactly.
"fuck you" to people.
And that I just don't
like
have
that.
right now.
Yeah.
I love, like, and I feel, when I join the union for my field, and when I do get married, and when I do have, a kid or a home, both are
Similar. You have to
same
change 'em and fix
ownership,
'em.
Do
same
you have a
ownership.
number
Pay
in
for
your
'em.
head as to what that will be?
I'm
Like,
hoping by 30.
Okay.
wow, you want to do all that in the next 6 years?
Yeah.
That's where you
Yeah.
okay?
That's realistic.
No, but I
I'm
didn't
very
know. I
close.
would have put a
Yeah.
little higher number on that.
I'm very close to achieving my union goals.
Okay.
And
Awesome.
with union comes way more work than I have right now.
Sure.
And way more money in the bank.
Stability.
And with exactly,
It's
and
helpful,
with all
sure.
that comes a nice apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Comes a nicer apartment. Comes a house. With that comes marriage and kids. Eventually, hopefully.
I heard this
maybe.
song before.
I
Yes,
like it.
yes,
I heard
there's
it on a
some
country
top
radio
100
station.
hit in the
Open the door and there's
60s.
the people go across the bar. How's that work? How does that
People,
know, Sharon? Right?
And not see all this deep.
Right.
I definitely did this in like church
Yeah.
camp,
Somewhere.
Bible study,
Yes.
something.
Sneaking
I did
drinks.
this a lot in Bible
I'm
something.
sure.
Fuck
Yeah, there's that.
I'm just
Wow.
saying.
Wow.
No, I didn't really. I didn't. But
She
Well, look
I
at that. We
did.
went
I
around the
mean,
table twice and
did
got
it.
very
Yeah.
all
I'm
the
glad.
answers
Very
of all the
thoughtful.
things.
You know, but that's I enjoyed the way that you have it, want to have it laid out.
Yeah.
Right?
I
And
mean-
just
I
to
mean,
be able to
obviously
picture it and
that's
have
the
a goal.
perfect world.
Yeah.
There
Right,
is no
of
such
course.
thing.
When
Of
is
course.
when is your birthday?
October 7th. I'm a Libra.
You are a Libra because that sounded very Virgo-ish to me.
It
Like
really
it's very.
did.
I mean,
I
I
agree.
have missed the mark
Yeah.
on all counts.
Yeah.
But that sounded very boom,
Yeah,
boom.
that
Yeah, and I'm not
more
even on the
perfection-y
like on
kind
the
of-
cusp.
No,
I'm just
you're
like
right
a
in the middle.
straight
Yeah,
up-
you're right in the
I
middle.
can't make a decision to save my life, but I feel
That's
like
a Libra.
those ones.
Yeah, but you're optimistic on all the other fronts. It sounds
Sure,
like.
Right?
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
try to be.
fantastic.
Well,
That is
we'd like you to come
fantastic.
back when you're 30 to this show
And
see
report.
how this is going to work out.
My God, we're doing the show
Hey,
for another 6
I
years.
don't
Yes,
need your
yes.
attitude.
Hey,
If you guys don't, I
And
just
maybe
want
we'll
you
get
to
paid.
achieve goals.
Yeah.
If there is not
Guys are
going to
be collecting Social
I
Security.
like
and
it.
still-
Well, you know what? And quite frankly, and that's how we'll get paid. There you go.
But since it's the
I like
last
it.
show, I mean, did you lay out like and I don't know if for gay people it's different because there was none of those goals. I don't know what that is.
It's my phone going.
You know what I mean? Like
"Hello."
those time goals, and I don't know. Like, do women have
Is
them?
that
Does men
Ricardo?
have
I know
them?
that by 35 I was completely disappointed and disillusioned, so that's why I say 45. Just get rid of the uterus and I'm fine. I wanted to. I had always wanted. My dad's nickname was Buzzy, and it was always a thing that he had wanted to own a bar. And so I thought, well, I'll own Buzzies, and we had it drawn out. We had the whole 90. You know, just that vision. That
Right, but you didn't have like a
No,
life
but at
plan
by
of like
35,
marriage. Yeah,
that's gonna
I
be
always
done.
wonder about that with. Because I thought that was all off the table, and I thought that was the fun
You
part
mean
of it
like
all.
life plan,
Right.
like marriage and all that? or
Yeah,
what?
like you know what I mean. Like there was never
no.
something
How many
with me.
how many
yeah.
gay people really look at that?
And that's why it's something that I
Yeah.
never considered. Like luckily that disappointment
Like
didn't
the
happen
idea
because
of
woo.
Now, if you want to, you
It's a
put marriage
letdown.
to it. That's different, right? But
Yeah.
I mean, as far as like wanting to be with one person and just
We talked
You
about
know.
that, making that wish wrong. Jesus
Right,
Christ, you want to go
right.
back and shoot
And you're
that
the only
fucking star down.
And you're the only person on this table that has that pending.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's engaged.
no.
You're right,
Yeah.
but you're the only person at this table who's got that pending in your life. None of us do.
Yeah.
And I don't. I have a desire.
I got to get like 2 restraining orders thrown up for it's even a possibility.
Not gonna do it. Not gonna
Not
happen.
gonna do it. Ain't nobody got no time
And I'm
for
not
that.
terribly optimistic that will ever happen. Now, but I'm also the one who says I don't need that legal definition.
Right. Me
if,
either.
If it all.
I don't need it. It's not a matter of need. It's a matter that because because we can and with age, right? It comes that wisdom of with that paper being able to. There's so many things that can go
Like life
horribly
decisions
wrong.
for others,
Right, right.
of that legal thing, which obviously you've seen a million times in your line of work,
I
where
mean,
people can't make decisions
right.
for others because they're missing that paper or they're missing.
And you've never had an honest conversation. One of the things that hurts is if you've never had an honest
Yes.
conversation about how
That's right.
you want things to go. Like
Right.
you and like
Well,
her
that's why
grandfather, my father
yeah.
had very specific conversations that seemed very maudlin and upsetting until the time came and we're like,
Well, this
oh,
is
there's
easy.
no questions here.
Right.
We've had this
Yeah.
We know what to
conversation
do.
better. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
sure.
Get in the car. We're ready to go.
Was he
Right.
buried with Triscuits? Is that how that worked out?
We weren't giving up
They
Triscuits.
made it. No.
He wasn't getting any
It was-
Triscuits. He
You
got
can't
a
have
deck
none.
of cards and a bottle of Jack Daniels.
But I mean, that really is
True story, all
the
right.
big deal, you know.
Yeah.
And I think we've on this show made the statements right into a microphone of, nope, just cremate me. Do this so that we'd have it on record. Like if anybody needs to go
Yeah,
back.
because
they
any
can.
of my
Yeah.
family's gonna
Yeah.
sift
I mean, there's
through all
900
5 fucking
hours to-
years of
to-
this.
No, but Kat, one of us will.
Somewhere
I
after
mean,
this
if
flying
we're- if
cat,
we're
maybe
still
he'll tell us
here,
his final wishes.
One of us would.
Maybe we should just have
Absolutely.
In this universe, why am I the one that goes first?
Yeah.
Maybe we should have a show.
Y'all are 10 years older than I am.
Oh, and that's
I'm
generous.
just
mean
saying.
spirited.
Oh no, that's actually no.
That's
That's
super
actually
true.
That's true.
Yeah, it's true.
It's 100%
Add 'em
true.
up, take
Yeah.
the average.
I know.
Exactly.
You
We're
guys
great-
are 9 years and 3 months older
We're
than
great
I
on
am.
our curve here.
Yeah. And I'm a little bit more than 9
little bit
months.
plus.
I know. I
You're
know,
the top of
I
the
know
curve.
how to math.
We know where that bell peaks.
I know
Yeah.
how to math.
Well, that was a good talk. Thanks.
Oh, who doesn't feel better about that? Marissa, thank
And
you.
if-
Your first show with us.
That was
Thank you very
wonderful.
much.
Hi.
Thank you.
And good luck with the goal of the
Gosh.
union stuff. That's fantastic.
We'll be touching base with
I
you
mean, the
again
rest
later.
of it as well, but you know, let's start with
That,
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
And
the
it-
most important.
That's
I
right,
just want-
absolutely.
I forgot about the other chat room again, but
It's all right. We'll figure it out later.
Thank you guys.
Jeffrey, thanks for playing.
Thanks for letting me join late.
my
Oh, weird.
gosh.
And then Nant and Harrison and
Saw
Mama
myself.
Di. And
Again, if you're listening to this on the repeat, we're taking 2 weeks off. We will not be back until the second Tuesday of January for a live show. So you take 2 weeks off as
Very
well,
busy.
people. My heavens sakes alive. And
Do
also,
something productive on
be
a
sure to listen to
Tuesday.
the end of the show for a little timely Christmas knowledge from Karen Walker. Because, you know, that's what we need here on this show. Right?
okay.
Sure,
All right.
Aaron. My gosh. Well, everybody, thank you for being part of my 2018. I look forward to another year with all of you fuckers, including you, Marissa.
Yeah.
Is that?
Welcome to the fucker club.
Well, as
Yeah.
we wrap up tonight's show,
Say it into your camera.
let's leave you with our parting thought. We will
See you next Tuesday!
Oh, Tuesday.